What the hell? Can y'all hear me? Looks like that's loud. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, no. Technical difficulties already. Oh, I'm already blurring. Oh, amazing. I'm late and now I'm blurring on top of it. I'm blurring and slurring. Wow. I can already hear Scott Johnson's voice saying how I was late. He was 5 minutes late for his stream on Saturday. Let me see this. Hear Scott Johnson's voice. Oh my god. Why is it so loud? I'll tell you why. I think the reason it's so fucking loud is because my cousin Gabby came over to my house to help me. Here we go. Is that better? Yes. Hello. 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 Is that better? Is that more? Is that not clipping anymore? Jesus Christ. Professional YouTuber, everybody. Hello. Is that better? Is that more? Better. Is that not clipping anymore?
Marco.
Jesus Christ.
Marco.
Professional YouTuber.
Winky. You're a little mini inch Winky.
Basically, you guys may remember that on the last stream we did last Saturday, I had a dono goal set up for you guys to help me raise some money for some additional RAM, random access memory for my computer, because I've been having some computer issues where it's been crashing and I don't know why. So my cousin came to set that up and we had to do like a whole clean. Thank you. Yeah, literally a Korki Buchek. Thank you. I am drunk. We had to do like a whole reset of my computer, and it reset the volume levels of my microphone back to like way too fucking high. So apologies for that, and thank you guys. I don't know if y'all can see this. I'm not flexing. Well, I am flexing by way of showing you this. I don't know if y'all can see that big red line on my arm. I'll give you 3 guesses as to what it is before somebody notices it and starts asking about it. Guess A. Guess number 1. My aunt's cat named Whiskers, who is the most evil person in the world, did it to me. That's guess A. That's your first option. Second guess that I'll give you is my bicep is just growing so much that it's tearing the skin open on my arm. That's the second guess. I know most of you are going to choose that. And guess number 3 is that I was play fighting with my niece and she slashed my arm with a Halloween costume prop scythe that is part of her Halloween costume, which for some reason is actually fucking sharp, and it cut my arm. Go ahead and take a guess, and I'm going to fix something on the camera. Wow, now I'm down here. Lord Farquaad. Let me fix this. Ignore that. There we go. That's a little bit better. A little bit. All right, well, happy Saturday, everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. Halloween coming up. Are you in the festive spirit? Are you drinking pumpkin spice lattes? Are you doing Thanksgiving stuff if you're Canadian? Are you watching this stream? Are you dropping a bag? That's the real question.
Goon tax for the Ram. Thank you for all you do for us, your cult, our fearless leader.
Wow.
Marco bless hooray.
Wow, we're starting this stream off proper. I really like, well, aside from the being late and the technical difficulties, aside from all that, we're starting this stream off proper, and I really appreciate you guys. There's 111 people watching, so go ahead and thumbs up the ting if you're watching this.
Thumbs up the ting.
Thumbs up the stream, and if you're watching the replay, thank you, and sorry for this. I'll put chapters so it's not so unbearable. And I also am going to put a new stream goal, and I'm very excited about this one, and I hope you will be too. I'm not even going to say what it is. I'm just going to build the suspense and put it up on the screen. Now, this is some arbitrary number. This isn't a number that, like, unlocks this thing immediately, but it's for the next thing, okay? I'm about to lock in on this, all right? This is it. New infiltrating a pyramid scheme video. New mainline series video. One of them big videos that this channel has been built upon. I have a new one. The dono goal is not what's going to force me to do it. I've already started working on it. Sneak peek, well, I guess not really a sneak peek, but me saying it. But I've already started working on it, and there are some costs associated with it. And aside from those costs, just the cost for me to keep the lights on while I lock in like a zombie for the next however many weeks editing it. Very, very powerful, very important. And I want to thank a couple people who donated already. And I think somebody bought a membership. I heard the Halo sound effect in the beginning. Chill Will. What's today? October 14th. Oh, we got a couple people. Korki Buchek, thank you. Chill Will dropped $10. Said, what's up, Marco? Just want to drop something. Good job. Numbers. Suck it to me. Thank you, Chill Will. Your GF says hi. Wow. Says, Goon Tax for the Ram. Thank you. We read that one. Thank you so much, you guys.
You're wrong. You're fucking poor.
Appreciate all of you guys. And I think, let me go open the chat. I think there was a membership. I could be wrong. Let me open this. And I'll also see what you guys guessed with regards to my arm scratch. What up, everybody? Lots of people in here. Damn, 121 people. Love it. I want to say what up and wagwan and thank you for being here to all the mods, all the members. I see Swain in the chat. I see Michael K. I see Giselle. I see Hopi Nay. I see Mars. I see Sabrina. I see Fresh Presh. I see so many people. There's just so many people, frankly. You look at what's going on. You look at how many people are in the chat, and frankly, it's unbelievable. Dank, thank you. Legend Gaming. E1C1 is here. Love it. Mars, yes. Walter Turner, thank you. He says, just so everyone knows, I met Marco 14 years ago in a South American rainforest, and he wasn't nice at all. Don't fall for the anti-MLM hero bit here. You got me, dude. For real, you got me. E1C1, what's up? E1C1 guesses that my arm scratch is cancer. Close, but it's not. Cat, steroids. Yes, the cat is an evil person. It's paid assassins. What is up, L? Oh, L is in here from Philip's stream. Yes, L, what's poppin'? Is Philip still streaming? All you guys, what's up? Jimmy Moon, Johnny, all my members. If you want to get shouted out and get those special emojis, come on, be a member. Yes, brought us to the back cave. Why is it when Marco does my funny accent, it's funny, but when I do a brown person accent, I get fired? I love that. My Halloween costume. So spoiler alert for the answer to the question is it was my niece slicing my arm open with the scythe yesterday when we were play fighting. My Halloween costume was going to be Batman just simply because I have a Batman costume in my closet. But my nieces really want me to be Gordon Ramsay because we've been watching like Hell's Kitchen and Kitchen Nightmares when I go visit them. And so we're in the habit of telling each other, you, madam, piss off, and shit like that. So they want me to get like a chef jacket and a blonde wig and be Gordon. And we've been doing all these bits about like when we go to someone's house and we get candy during trick or treat, when we get candy and we don't like it, we can tell the person at the house who gave us the candy, like, this, madam, is shit. All that stuff Gordon Ramsay does. So they really want me to be Gordon. So tentatively it's Batman, but it could be Gordon. And I'm 99.8% certain that I almost said that like Igor Alberts. I'm almost certain. I'm almost 100% certain that I will be doing a stream in costume as Batman any fucking ways, whether I go as Gordon Ramsay or not. What are you being, Mars? You're sewing one of your stews? Meredith, Dylan, Wagwan, what's up? Michael K. I always donate on YouTube so Marco loses 30%. Yes. Also, I can't say too much, but you already know I have some legal issues going on with relation to what I am doing here on YouTube. And, definitely appreciate the support if y'all trying to help me on that. Marco, Whiteboard Finance in the chat. What up, Marco, Whiteboard Finance? I didn't know you watched this channel, but thank you for being here.
30 maple leaves plus the fee is only 22.88 freedom bucks. So here's another. Marco, bless, hooray.
Thank you so much. For appreciate that. Marco, Whiteboard Finance. I've watched some of your videos before, bro. Shout out to you. Man, you're going to touch 1 million subscribers soon, bro. That's amazing. So thanks for being here. And 1 million subscribers, but you can't just come in here and not drop a bag. You can't just come in here with 968. That means what? You're probably a multi-quadrillionaire, Marco Whiteboard Finance? Hello? How do I still have outstanding legal issues that need to be paid for with Marco Whiteboard Finance, Bad Dog Sports, Michael K, the Crypto King, and 155 people watching? It beats me. All I know is that if everybody made one small investment of $99 and we had 155 people watching, what is that even? It'd be $5,445, baby. That's all I know. Look, I'm not Marco Whiteboard Finance. I don't know. I'm not a numbers guy. All I know is if everybody dropped 900, that'd be great. If everybody dropped $99, we'd be getting somewhere, right? Pity donation. Wow. Thank you. Whatever. My attitude towards donations is like some douchebag frat boy's attitude towards dating, where he'll be like, I still hit though. I still got a bag though. You know, nah, thank you. I do appreciate that for real. Thank you. You know, the more I see these MLM gurus making money off of the, you know, vulnerable situations of regular people, the more I have to cope by leaning into my own MLM cult leader persona, just so I can feel a little bit better about, you know, just so I can not feel so grim about what's really going on, because it's actually fucked up. And today we're going to be talking about one of those characters in particular, who is very fucked up, in my opinion. Not legal, you know, for legal protection, I'm saying that. Bad Dog, what up? Love seeing all you guys in here. I'm seeing some good names in the chat. It's like when you walk into, you know, a certain holiday function and that one cousin that you really fuck with is there, and you're like, this fucking guy. I see B in the chat. I see Bad Dog. I see Marco saying all Marcos are legends. That's so true. So true, frankly. You look at Whiteboard Finance. What is it?
Goon tax for all the Marco teams.
Wow, thank you. Yes. Get the bags. Tell you what. Get the bags out of the way right now. Let's not have any interruptions. Go ahead. I know you want. Just come on. You see that?
Invest in Marco and your bags will 10x.
Exactly. Thank you, Michael. Come on now. Just drop them. Drop the bag. Freeze. Drop the bag. Freeze. Drop the bag and thumbs up the ting and no one gets hurt. What is up, all you? Shut it down. Yeah, me and my nieces have been doing when we're watching the show, we do we're always listening for Gordon to say, it's raw, and shut it down, and you, madam, or yes, at the end of the sentence. Today, I want you focused, yes? He always puts yes at the end.
Goon tax, Bitcoin investment fund for legal costs.
So true. You know what? Worst case scenario, if I don't end up investing in some Bitcoin shitcoin, thank you, Trey Tino. If I don't end up investing in some shitcoin, you know what I'm going to do? We call it flee the country. We call it he's a flight risk, right? We call it fleeing the country so he can't be held. No, I'm kidding. I know the assassins are watching my stream. I'm kidding. This is satire. This is for humor. They're not going to include that in the affidavit. They're going to say, oh, Marco was going to flee the country with the money. He's telling his fans. He's telling Marco Whiteboard Finance, who's complicit in his crimes. He's implicating Marco Whiteboard Finance in his plot to say slanderous things and then flee the country. It's a joke. All right. Will I do the voice? Of course. Yeah. Gordon Ramsay and Trump, I could use the blonde wig for either costume, to be honest. I could just get the most basic, like cookie cutter Halloween store white, not white, blonde wig. Kissin' Kate Barlow from Holes. Ooh, come on now. And Faye Valentine. I don't know what that one. 2 outlaws, 1 in space, 1 in Teja. Love that. Specs, what up? Thank you for the pity donation, Marco. Marco says, I have kids. My bad. All right. Let's get serious. Katie Bobo, new name in the chat, YEG Stan. Thank you so much, Katie Bobo. Appreciate you. Edmonton, holla at you, boy. I still hit, though. Frat boys are foul. So true. So true. Thank you, Dallin Davis, for the love. Appreciate it. Marco would be the frattiest frat boy for real. If I hadn't been born Lebanese, bro, trust me, it would have been over for y'all. And I played hockey for 10 years. That's a Marco nugget y'all don't know. I played hockey from the time I was 4 till I was 14. Real shit. My parents forced me. Me and my brothers did. So yeah. Marco, are you in the metaverse? No, I mean, technically. Vince Goodrum. Hello, Marco. Somebody told me you care to have a debate on network marketing in the near future. I could rock with it. What's up, Vince Goodrum? DM me. Actually, email me. I've given up on the DMs, to be honest. I've let the message requests get so. I'll never get to all of them. That's not even a flex. Just if it's actually important, I feel like you'll email me, right? So email me. Always marco@mgmt@gmail.com. Okay. Let's catch up. We're almost here. We're almost caught up on the comments. What up, Jelly Snack? What's poppin'? What is the most ethical business model? It's a good question. I actually don't know if there's a most ethical business model. I think, it should be pretty clear most of the time. But I will say one of my favorite business models, and this is a dream business of mine that I would love to get into. So if anybody here has expertise on this industry, I would love to chat with you. Self-storage. I am very interested in self-storage. There is anytime I drive by storage facilities, I have to blow them a kiss from the car because I think storage is a beautiful business, extremely low failure rate, extremely high startup costs because obviously it's real estate, you need land, but it's much less volatile from what I understand than owning, for example, an apartment complex. If you own a 4-plex or an 8-plex, it's the human element. It's minimizing the human element that makes it so beautiful, And once you own the land, you could build it up as a parking lot to start and just have, a machine and the lot itself and the paint on the ground, and that's really all you need, and you have a functioning business. And then when you have enough money, you can build up the first layer and maybe have 8 units or 16 units across from each other, and then maybe you invest in another facility where it's an indoor heated self-storage facility. I just think it's a beautiful business model. If people don't end up paying, it's a one-day turnaround. It's not like this thing where they have squatters' rights and you have to get the police involved to evict them, and then you got to remodel the place, and they had a dog and the dog peed on the carpet. Now you got to tear out the carpet. Like all that shit that goes along with being in traditional like residential real estate. I think, and of course I'm still, I haven't gone too deep into my research on self-storage. I've watched a few, videos and whatever, but I think self-storage is an amazing business model. If you just look at in terms of failure rates, it's an extremely good business in my opinion. If I was in WFG, I could have played in their hockey game. So true. Yeah. I've never seen a storage place go out of business. They usually get bought out by someone bigger. Yep, totally true. Fernanda knows about Pingu. What up, Fernanda? Where's my Pingu sound effect? I have one on here. There you go. Yeah. Love that, Treytino. Flexing on grandpa. 200 people watching. Thumbs up the ting. Come on, y'all.
Thumbs up the ting.
Thumbs up the ting. No, not self-storage. Many people who pay for those are painfully bad at managing money in life, losing money every month just to store garbage. I mean, hey, does that make it not ethical? I'm not sure. I think even wealthy people have storage units, right? Even wealthy people own too much shit. Yeah, people are materialistic. They will always need to store stuff. What up, Silicon Valley? Okay, let's get on with it. Wow, Johnny after my heart. The way to my heart is money, by the way. Johnny after my heart, gifting 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Johnny. Specs, Silicon Valley, Jared, Sam Stark, and The Ridge Runner. I mean, 4 of those 5 names right there are OG goons. So I'm very happy about that. And I really appreciate that. So thank you guys.
Do you like me?
Love it. Cool. I also, thank you, Johnny. I also, if anyone knows about this, so I really want to join a speakers bureau so that I have like some proper representation when it comes to being booked for speaking engagements. There are so many industries that could benefit from having me talk to them and their constituents about the dangers of MLM. MLM poaches so much business away from financial professionals, health professionals. You know, you have to imagine if there's an insurance conference, I could speak at that. If there is a nutritionists or dietitians or personal trainers conference, I can speak at that. Big brothers, big sisters groups, you know, those are kids who need guidance and are at risk. Those would be a great place for me to speak at. Elders, you know, senior living communities, those people are always being taken advantage of. Scam calls, MLM, that would be great for me to speak at. Colleges, you know, young students being poached away from their business degree to join MLM because they think they're going to be a millionaire. High school kids, grade 12, you know, graduating high school kids, like my best friend who ended up being recruited to WFG and it destroyed our friendship in 2015. So many different groups that need the information, that need the guidance. And yeah, I really do hope in the next couple years I'll be able to do that mostly full time. Of course, I still want to release content, but yeah, veterans, another great example. The military wives, military spouses, I guess. I'd love to be able to travel around and speak at different colleges and different events and, you know, conferences and things of that nature. And this reminds me too. The most important thing I can do is like the multi-level misery type thing where I'm talking directly to people Q&A style. And so doing live speaking engagements would of course be an opportunity for me to do that. But also, what do you guys think about me doing a stream coming up soon where it's the whole thing is just a call-in show where you guys can I'll just have like a Zoom link open in the, I don't know, a Zoom link pinned in the chat and you guys can just like click and join. It might get crazy if I do that though. But I could do like I don't know, I could put some sort of paywall in the way. I could say like $10 to do a call on the stream. I think that'd be very helpful. But then again, I also don't want to just charge. Anyways, we'll figure it out. Obviously, if I just have it be a free-for-all, there's going to be 100 people in there and I'm not going to be able to get to everyone. But I think a call-in show could be a cool thing for sure. Maybe the way I'll work it is somebody, you know, you donate and then you put your email what would I do? I don't know. I'll turn off the donation alert. You donate, you put your email in the donation on Streamlabs. No one else can see it but me. And then I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out the fact that there's 210 people watching and only 112 likes. We'll figure that out. I'm confident one day we will. Because that's free to do. That costs nothing. So one day, hopefully, we'll get there, you know? Okay, let's get into this here. I'm going to start recording on OBS in case I chop this into an actual like video later on. Vince Goodrum, I would be open to doing a debate if you want to talk about it in the future. I think Specs was talking about the crazy things in your DM, saying pics or it didn't happen, like you saying crazy stuff are in the DM, or people say crazy stuff in the DM. Julie Anderson, what up? Scott and Peter wouldn't call in. They're too cowardly, but I would love that if they did. I would love it if you guys click like on the thing. All right, let's bring this up. So the thumbnail of this stream that you're watching now, you might have seen it says, what did it say? They tried to get these videos removed. So you may remember that at the end of 2021, what was going to be my last MLM video for the foreseeable future, which it was the last anti-MLM video that I dropped before I took my almost year-long hiatus in 2022 from making anti-MLM content. That video was called Infiltrating a Pyramid Scheme, WFG Part 3. Up until that point, it was my longest and most comprehensive video about multi-level marketing. And I focused primarily on this guy, Raja Dhaliwal, who is Obviously, you can tell by his name, he's Indian. And he does an exceptional, terrible job. You know what I mean? He's doing an exceptional job of doing something terrible. He's doing an exceptional job at victimizing the Indian and South Asian, whatever, the whole umbrella community through World Financial Group. Now, this video, if I go on my computer, and I'll prove this to you right now, if I, always Marco, go onto my computer and I go to my own channel and I click videos and I scroll down to where that video should be, you don't see it. It's not there. It should be, as far as I know, right here in between these two videos. Even I cannot see it because somebody, don't know who, I'm guessing it was Greg Stranadka from WFG, put a defamation complaint on the video, which even though I've contacted YouTube support and they assure me there are no limitations on the video, I cannot see that video on my own page. So I know it is shadow banned, okay? I know it's shadow banned for a fact. Some people, though, tell me they have no problem seeing it, and I still get comments on it from time to time. Other people who are in Canada can see it. I don't know what the limitations of the video are. I don't know if it's Canada. I don't know if it's certain provinces in Canada, but there's a large portion of the population that can't see it, and I'm pretty sure it's 100,000 views or more, that video. I don't know because I can't see it. So, that video, I talk about Raja Dhaliwal. I also show footage from a Zoom presentation by Greg Stranadka, who was, of course, in WFG Part 2 and WFG Part 4. And I talk about this gentleman, Ed Mylett, who you see in the thumbnail. Now, interesting thing about Ed Mylett is he still speaks at World Financial Group conventions and conferences. You know, in Vegas, they have these things and wherever. And even folks who have been in my video, like Greg Stranadka, I showed how in that video he's posted photos of him chilling with Ed Mylett. And even Raja Dhaliwal has photos of him chilling with Ed Mylett. Now, all of this is connected. And I'm going to do a video. I'm going to give you a little sneak peek here for the stream viewers. I'm releasing a video this upcoming week, which is not it's not something I streamed and then edited down. It's like its own video about how my mayor, yes, the mayor of my own city, okay, is promoting World Financial Group. No, I'm not making that up. Yes, you heard that correctly. Yes, even though me, always Marco, one of the biggest anti-MLM voices in the world, has made several videos on World Financial Group in Edmonton, which have combined got over 1 million views. Even though I am here, one of the most vocal, I shouldn't even say critic, because I'm not criticizing, I'm telling the fucking truth. The most vocal person, anti-WFG person in the world, who it lives here, and my own mayor, Amarjeet Sohi, was a couple weeks ago speaking at the grand opening of a new World Financial Group branch office, and standing right behind him while he was speaking at the podium is Raja Dhaliwal and Jaswinder Dhaliwal, who was in my first video, Infiltrating a Pyramid Scheme WFG, the first one, my introduction to this whole thing. He's the guy who said, Hartej isn't here, I'm the CEO here, Hartej is not here. That's that guy. So him and Raja Dhaliwal from my WFG Part 3 video were standing behind the mayor. Yes, my own mayor, my current acting mayor, not the former mayor, the current mayor. Standing behind him while he says, this is a great achievement, and whatever he was saying. So he says something like, this is a great achievement. Now, I wrote to the mayor after this happened, and I also called the mayor's office and left a voicemail. Of course, they didn't respond to me because who am I? Fuck that guy. So I will be putting out a video to hold the mayor of my city accountable. And I hope that I can count on you guys to share the video, because even though it is my city and not your city that the mayor is supporting World Financial Group, I'm going to talk in this video about how, as I've shown in previous videos, the political corruption is ubiquitous across every government in North America. I have a whole video on my channel that I put out, a month ago, about the presidents who have supported multi-level marketing. This one right here, where is it? When presidents promote pyramid schemes. And I talk about how the president is in on it. I have another stream I did talking about another MLM company that several A-list celebrities have promoted. They're in on it. You know, so even though it's my city that the mayor, you know, that this specific mayor was, speaking for WFG and supporting WFG's new office opening, it affects, it's everybody. It's every one of your mayors and political, congresspeople and senators. It's all of them. It's all of them. The corruption goes to the very fucking top. And what bothers me specifically about Amarjeet Sohi doing it is Amarjeet Sohi is Indian and is always talking about disenfranchised groups and minority groups and helping the little guy and like being this ally for basically minority groups. And what's he doing? Co-opting, in my opinion, the most harmful towards minority groups in Edmonton. The thing that is the most harmful to minority groups in Edmonton, World Financial Group. It is fucking rampant in Edmonton. It is an absolute cancer in Edmonton. And so I have no other choice but to use the voice that I have to speak out against him and his actions and hold him accountable. And the reason I'm not doing it on stream is because I have to be very careful. I already have a litany of legal issues that I'm dealing with that are bringing me enough stress, more than enough stress for one person. So I need to be very purposeful and careful about the way I word that video and run it by a few people before I release it so that I can make sure I'm in the clear, legally speaking. But yeah, World Financial Group is multi-level marketing, and it is a verifiable fact that 99% of annual participants in multi-level marketing lose money. They end up with less money than they started with. And so for my mayor to be talking about how this is a great success is an absolute travesty, and I think it's horrible. It's beyond horrible, but again, I have to be careful with my words so that they don't start screaming defamation, because as you can imagine, if you have beef with your mayor, with the mayor of your own city, you can imagine how suddenly you might start getting weird tickets in the mail or, weird citations for weird, it's probably just not in the best interest of a citizen to have beef with the mayor of their own city. So I need to be very, very careful. But I just think it's supremely ironic that Amarjeet Sohi is on Twitter as we speak. You can go on his Twitter and he's issuing statements about things like Israel and Palestine, which please do not go in the comments talking about that. I'm not getting into that. The point I am making is simply that he's out here virtue signaling and releasing a statement on something that he has no way of affecting, good or bad. But the things that he could be doing, like just simply not endorsing multi-level marketing, he's not doing. This is just PR, political, smile at the camera, and then, and then do whatever behind the scenes bullshit. Just so by the book slacktivism, Oh yeah, Mr. Mayor, we should really release a statement about Israel-Palestine. Yeah, good thinking. By the way, what's on the calendar for tomorrow? Oh, World Financial Group office opening? I'll be there. It's a fucking joke. It's a game. It's a total game. So, extremely, extremely disappointed. And even more so because, yeah, my mayor, Amarjeet Sohi, he used to be a bus driver. He has this rags to, I shouldn't say rags to riches, but, he has this story about being an immigrant and driving the bus and working his way up. And then now he's the mayor. And it's like, this guy is the fucking mayor? It's absolutely fucked. The mayor. Dude, I'm literally Bruce Wayne. I don't know what to tell you. This is crazy. Bruce Wayne without the millions. You know what I mean? Streamlabs link in the chat. I'll go lobby the government myself. Fucking insane. Insane. So obviously he's not, I gave him a chance. I emailed him a couple weeks ago now, 2 weeks ago, telling him, hey, World Financial Group is bad. Here's the videos I've made on it. Here's the investigation FSRA is doing on them. Here's why it's harmful. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And on and on and on. And I explained. No response. So what else am I to do? I'm a concerned citizen bringing up an issue that I believe is in the public interest, okay? through my own years of experience. From 2015 to 2019, 2015 when I lost my best friend, when I was prospected to join WFG, of course, to 2019 when I made my first video, up until today. Now the mayor is still, after all these years, still promoting it. Horrendous, horrible, terrible. So, you know, what else can I do except use my platform? I'm lucky that I have a channel with a respectable amount of subscribers that I can talk about this. And hopefully that does something, you know. Also, the moderators of r/Edmonton seem to look favorably upon my content, because when I released WFG Part 4 back in April, and you remember the first video got reported for some privacy complaint by Dan the Man, and so it got taken down, and then I had to re-upload it. Well, the original Reddit post on r/Edmonton was also removed because they were reporting it. And, sorry, correction. The video didn't get removed. The post didn't get removed from r/video. The post did not get removed from r/Edmonton. The video got removed from YouTube. So the embedded link that was on the r/Edmonton post was useless. So I posted it again on r/Edmonton, and one of the moderators commented on it and said that he was getting complaints on the subreddit from World Financial Group people trying to take that post down in the r/Edmonton subreddit, and he vetoed all of those and kept it up because he was this specific moderator was supportive of what I was doing on, for the city. And I really, very much appreciate that. And so, hopefully I have the support of r/Edmonton again, because this is the thing. We the people, right? You have the money. You're the political whatever, hobnobbing with all the elites and rich people and whatever, and you act in the corporate interest. I find it very funny too. If you got a speeding ticket, if you got pulled over and you tried to give the police officer money to put in his pocket so that you could get out of it, that would be called bribery and you would go to jail. But when big rich companies or rich people pay lawmakers who are above the police, senators, politicians, congresspeople, when they pay them to let them slide, it's called lobbying. This is a game. You and me cannot do anything about it. You and me are powerless to do anything about it. You and me do not have enough money if we all pooled it all together to do something about it. Okay? The only thing that we have is numbers. Okay? It literally has to come down to they can't kill us all. They can't arrest us all. Unfortunately, that's the way it has always been. Look at any major shift in law. Same-sex marriage being legalized, marijuana being legalized. Think of any major shift in the legal status quo, right? Slavery becoming abolished, right? Think of any major shift that has ever happened. People had to take to the streets and march up the steps in order to get things changed. And even then, they had to persist and persist and persist. Only once the politicians feel the hot, angry breath of the mob breathing down their neck do they actually fucking do something. Unfortunately, it's true. Politicians are just chilling in their ivory tower, looking down on us little people. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about you and me. So the only thing people like me and people like you can do is use our platform. Maybe you have 300 followers. Good. You can share a thing. Everybody loves to virtue signal anyways. At least this is an actual good thing, that we're trying to fight against. So, he didn't respond to me. I offered to talk to the mayor before putting out a video. And, if I do get sued by the mayor for defamation, I can include and say, hey, look, I wrote and, I did write to the mayor. Before all of this, before taking it public, whatever, man. So, freedom of speech hopefully is, it's not the strongest it's ever been in Canada. I'll tell you that much. But, hopefully it's not so far gone that I can't make a video, holding accountable my own mayor for something that I believe to be harmful, promoting something that I believe to be harmful. And that's all we can do, That's all you can do. The only thing you have in terms of leverage against a politician is that is your vote, right? But unfortunately, it takes thousands of people getting on the same page to have a vote that makes a decision one way or another. And there's no guarantee that the next guy you vote in isn't going to be worse than the first guy or just as bad. So anyways, it's a game. It's a game. It's a club. We're not part of it. It's a game we weren't invited to play, and on and on. But, I'm still going to try. I'm still going to do something. Ranch being legalized, yep. Peace out, Julie. Appreciate you. Can you just say it is my opinion that all the time? I mean, it's not so black and white, no. Damn. I need to become the mayor? Yeah. What up, Michael? Michael Milner. Yes, thank you, Private, for getting me back on track here. Private says, things about Ed Mylett. He will never sing the praises of WFG Transamerica in any of his podcasts and books. Let's get back on track. Ed Mylett, who is also one of the people I focused on in my WFG Part 3 video. Ed Mylett will never say World Financial Group. In interviews, and I'll bring up an example here. I have several videos that we're going to look at here from Ed Mylett and clips of him talking that either he uploaded or other people uploaded. If you look at this video here, it's called How Ed Mylett Made His Millions. This is uploaded to a channel, Rob Moore, who does interviews and whatever. Let's look at the question Ed Mylett is asked. This is a clip from 4 years ago, 2019. And let's see, by the way, fun fact about this clip. This was released only shortly after, actually no, correction. A month before I did my first video on WFG. Watch this.
Main thing that financial services business in, that sounded like that was your main thing that got you going. Can you talk us a bit about how you built that?
I did. I built that. It's a recruiting model. And so the key to that business was getting great people working with me.
So are you already noticing the subversion and the misdirection that's going on here? Financial services, that's just a blanket term. That could mean literally anything. Financial services, what does that mean? Think about any number of things that could be financial services. A bank is financial services. Are you an insurance broker? Is it stocks? Are you the guy that makes the plastic for debit cards? Are you a guy that makes a Square, payment processing things? Are you a payment processor? Are you a payment processor software? What are you? That could mean so many things. Financial services could mean so many things. So there's the first one, obfuscating the truth. And then what does he say? It's a recruiting model. So the key there is working with people who are great people. Say it. Say what it is. Say what it is. It's MLM. No, he won't say that. Why? Because he knows there's a stigma associated with it. Ed Mylett is an expert in these deflections and lies of omission. And what we're going to do today is we're going to go and look at some of the videos, some of the clips that I actually did include in my WFG Part 3 video, which is now limited depending on where you live. I don't know if you can see it in Canada. You might need a VPN. If you can't see it on my channel, use a VPN. But in that video, I show clips of him giving trainings back in his WFG days when he was still in the company. And you'll see what I mean. Do Canadians say we the people too? No, I just did. Rob Ford was a proper mayor. Well, Doug Ford, the current mayor of Toronto, premier of Ontario, also has a video, which I'll include in this video about my mayor coming up. He has a video of him thanking Raja Dhaliwal and WFG as well. This is what I mean, you guys. It goes to the very top. And by the way, if you haven't seen that WFG Part 3, go watch it. Because in that video, I have Raja caught in 4K, well, 1080, caught in 1080p, saying, you are here to recruit 40 people. Tap rooting, that's what you need to do. Recruiting is the most important thing, and on and on and on. Okay? Yes, Mars, you guys are very cool subscribers. Tucker Bryant, really appreciate you. Insight about speakers bureaus. Please email me or DM me on Instagram or drop a comment on Instagram so I can see it, or drop a donation and put it in there. All right, let's see. Paul, I'm writing a short 6-page paper on MLMs in California. Yes. Look at the 2011 study by John Taylor, Jon Taylor, Consumer Awareness Institute. It's on the FTC website. You can download the PDF. Read that. Learn ting. Manny Singh, my friend who joined WFG is not in WFG anymore and hasn't been for the last few years at least. Thank you, Danny boy. Michelle with a great comment. Michelle says, by the way, she didn't say this, but I know she thinks this. Michelle wants you to thumbs up the stream.
Thumbs up the team.
Michelle wants you to click like on the stream because it's free to do, and almost 100 if you haven't. Michelle says, if politicians stop taking money from these companies and instead criminalized MLM, I wonder what a boost to the economy that would be. We're talking hundreds of billions of dollars, and I'm not making that number up. You can go on the Direct Selling Association website, look at a list of all the MLM companies in alphabetical order that are part of the Direct Selling Association. You can then Google the yearly reports or quarterly reports of any of those MLM companies and see what they brought in that year. Go down the list and do this, and you will find money to the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars. Now, I'm no economist, but I think that hundreds of billions of dollars being put back into education, infrastructure, social programs, healthcare. I'm just a conspiracy theorist. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just a kooky guy on the internet. All right. I'm just a hater making videos in his mom's basement to try to make a quick buck. Right. That's the official story. Okay. Maybe I should be the fucking mayor. Maybe I should be the prime minister. You know, I actually wouldn't be surprised if this career advocating against MLM does lead in the future to like some political career of some kind. But hundreds of billions of dollars, you could change the fucking world. Insane. Jared says, if you've watched WFG3 and want to reshare, you can go through your liked videos until you find it and repost. Smart guy. I can see it if I go to my YouTube studio. You know. All right, let's watch the first video. This is directly uploaded to Ed Mylett's channel. This is called Power of Belief, uploaded 10 years ago before, you know.
So I was just visiting about this topic with my kids, and I thought you and I ought to visit about it too because it applies so deeply to business. And that's the concept of belief and how that impacts our performance.
I'm good, actually. I don't want to watch this.
Everything.
We get it, Ed. It's an MLM. All right, let me just go through this. I'm so funny. Let me just go through this playlist of videos that are actually called, fun fact, if you search Ed Mylett WFG on YouTube, there's a whole playlist called Ed Mylett WFG Training. That was the first video on it. Most of the videos are not directly uploaded to Ed Mylett's channel, but instead to a channel called Tiger Team Biz Training. These, if you're looking at the thumbnails here, you will recognize these clips from my WFG Part 3 video. Let's start here and go through. I think you'll be stunned and amazed and disgusted by what you see. First, let's watch this 1-minute intro called Hear My Story, Ed Mylett World Financial Group. Let's see.
In my upbringing, I always thought I was going to be a Major League Baseball player. Everything I did surrounded baseball, and it looked like I was on that path early in my life. And like most people, my original dream didn't work out. It's hard to put into words what WFG's done for me and my family. I mean,
This is the only video on the internet where you will hear Ed Mylett saying the letters WFG. He has done the complete Grant Cardone rebrand where he is just a motivational speaker, sort of in that same vein, like the fake guru, Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins lane. Alex Morton is trying to emulate the same thing where you can't quite pin him down. At least the lay person wouldn't be able to quite pin them down to the specific company they're in. They'll just throw vague terminologies at you. Oh yeah, I was in financial services and it was a recruiting model. They'll never fucking say I was in an MLM company called World Financial Group that fucked over X amount of people. Of course they'll never say that. So this is the only video on the internet where you will see Ed Mylett actually saying WFG, and it was uploaded 10 years ago by this channel called Ray Rios and has only 3,000 views. I'm the only person who's seen this. Look, somebody commented a year ago, WFG is an MLM. Every successful business is an MLM. There are multiple... Shut the fuck up.
Work out. It's hard to put into words what WFG's done for me and my family. I mean, it's really impacted every single aspect of our lives.
Checking all the boxes already. I thought I was going to do this, but then life came at me really hard. Thank God for WFG. Thank God for insert blank company. Thank God for Herbalife. Thank God for can't say it or I'll be sued. Thank God for can't say it or I'll be sued.
From my peace of mind to not worrying about a paycheck or a bill or how we're going to do the things for our children we want to do or educate them, to our travel, to our experiences, even our faith, even the different things we get to invest ourselves in now because we're not on a time clock. We don't have to worry about money at this stage in our lives.
You've heard it all before. Hartej said it to me in our first meeting. I can wake up without an alarm clock. Greg Stranadka, have you ever interviewed your future? That's like, wow. I'm actually shocked with myself. That was a really good Greg Stranadka impression right there, actually. Go watch WFG Part 3, and you'll see on the Zoom call hosted by Greg Stranadka, he's like, something I always ask people is, have you ever interviewed your future? See where they're going to be in 10 years. Such a pussy.
All my life, from when I was a young man, my adolescence, to when I started in this business, I always wanted to be somebody. Always wanted my life to count. I wanted my family to be proud of me. I wanted something magic to happen in my life, and I knew we could do that. And WFG's the vehicle, frankly, that gave me a chance to make all those dreams a reality. And I thank God every day. It's one of the great blessings in my life is WFG.
You've heard it all before. The fact that somebody can become a millionaire by spewing the same fucking script over and over makes me want to rip my hair out. But on the inside, I'm very calm. You won't get to me. You won't crack me. As a matter of fact, there's nothing you can do to me short of killing me to stop me. I would love to go do 30 days in jail if it means standing up for what I believe in. Before I ever pay you guys a fucking penny for some bullshit lawsuit, before I ever bend the knee to you fucking scammers and criminals, I would happily go do 30 days in jail on a little foam mattress that's that big. Easily. And we'll get there. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, but I will do it. Anyways, let's go on to the next video in this playlist. This is called Objections Number 1. Finishing sentences with a question and other skills. Okay. A man going crazy in his apartment on YouTube is what. Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. A man going crazy in his apartment on YouTube. All right, here we go. What up, Danielle? What's poppin'? Play it.
Okay, let's talk for a second about overcoming objections. And we talked earlier about how important it is to finish a sentence with a question.
Already you're like, this guy is a fucking crook. Overcoming objections. Who would ever... That's like car salesman shit. Oh yeah, but I gotta talk to my wife. All right, boys, what you're gonna say then is, well, call your wife right now. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Overcoming objections. You know what an objection is to someone in an MLM? Any question. Any question that's not literally in the book, the script that they gave you, little pamphlet. Anything other than that is an objection to these people. Already you're on the back foot. Well, you're objecting to me. So now you're the one trying to defend yourself. No, I'm not criticizing. I'm not objecting. I'm just asking a question. Well, now you're the one being negative. You're the one who doesn't believe. Insane. Let's come on. Let's see how does he And how does he get around it? It's so important to answer a question with a question. Hey, how much money will I make in this? How much do you think you'll make in this? How much does this pay? Well, it really depends. How much do you think? You're a fucking piece of shit.
Oftentimes that's not something that's natural for many of us, but it's a very easy skill to learn, and it'll create the dynamic when you interact with somebody that you're the asking of the question person and they're the answering.
You're the big G, they're the little fucking pleb. You ask the questions, they answer. You're big, they're small. You're rich, they're poor. You win, they lose. I'm Ed Mylett, WFG changed my life. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Spec says if Marco goes to jail, that doesn't mean you stop donating. So true. We donate even more. We call it big bags. We call it standing with our emperor. All right, let's go.
Person. So let me give you an example of what would be called, say, a tie down. We're just going to go through a couple skills here, just so you have
a tie down. That sounds like fun. Guys, wouldn't you like to be tied down in a conversation with this guy? Or wouldn't you like to tie someone else down in a conversation? I would. Let's hear what he's got to say.
This weapon in your arsenal, if you will, and your ability to communicate with people, and I would recommend that you practice this. So a question at the end of a sentence demands them to say a yes. That's what a tie down is that when you ask a question, it kind of demands a yes from them. It's a natural yes kind of a question. So let me give you an example of that. If I were to say, Mark, Ursula, getting out of debt and saving more money just...
How absolutely on brand is it that it's two black people as well that they're doing this with? Because famously, these MLM schemes are some slimy, oiled up white confidence man doing this to a black family, a brown family, a Mexican family. So I think it's, the realism in this video, 10 out of 10.
Just makes sense, doesn't it?
Here we go. Let's listen to his example.
I were to say, Mark, Ursula, getting out of debt and saving more money just makes sense, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay. That's the difference between, thank you, by the way. That's the difference.
Thank you, by the way. So now you guys can see you've got your foot up, you've got your hand up their ass, and they're just your little puppet. Mark, Ursula, it makes sense to save more money, doesn't it? Yes, Ed. Good job. All right, now for the next skill. This, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this guy is a millionaire and you are not. This guy is a millionaire and you are not. Think about that. The next time I post some shit in Discord or on my story saying, hey guys, sign this petition. Hey guys, watch this thing, share this thing. Keep in mind that he is a millionaire, you are not.
Between saying, Mark and Ursula, it just makes sense to get out of debt, and I leave it there. That's a statement. But if I say, doesn't it, or isn't it, or couldn't it at the end of a sentence, or wouldn't it, that now turns that statement into a question, and now we've created that little dynamic as we're going of getting you to say yes to me. And I know this sounds very salesy, but it's true. Small yeses in a presentation typically lead to a big yes at the end. But if you're not getting little buy-ins, little yeses as you go, and you don't want to do it over and over and over again where it looks like a technique or a strategy. Again, the more you do it, the more conversational it becomes. But you can finish the sentence with a doesn't it or couldn't it or aren't you, that kind of a thing. Or you can open it. So you could finish the tie down by saying, you're open to earning additional income in new ways, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay, that's different than saying you should be open to earning additional income. That's a statement. And then they're going to say, well, how would we do that? Or why would we want to do that? But if I finish with a question, I start to get yeses. So you're open to earning additional income, aren't you? That's a yes. That's a yes answer. There's also something called an inverted tie down, which is you put the question in the beginning of the sentence. So I could say something like, Mark and Ursula, doesn't it make sense to get out of debt and save money?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
I would love to see a dating video from this guy. All right, so guys, then what you're going to do is you're going to tell her, I never said that. You're crazy. Are you on your period? Relax. That's what you're going to say. And then when she tries to come at you and say that you're gaslighting her, what you're going to want to do is say, don't you remember that I bought you coffee yesterday? Asking that as a question is going to get her in a position where she's thinking, oh, you're the asking questions guy. I'm the dumb little drone that answers the questions. After that, you're going to have an amazing relationship. I can't do this. The world is dark. The world is dark. Then you're going to want to tell her, actually, babe, I don't meet parents. It's one of my boundaries. And then she's going to say to you, well, what is the actual value that you have that doesn't line up with you meeting parents? You're then going to say, get off my back. She's then going to say, sorry, I was just asking. You're then going to say, this is why your dad left. And after that, she's going to know that you are the one who asks the questions and she is the one who answers them. And she's going to know not to fuck with you. I'm Ed Mylett. Welcome to WFG. Oh, goodness. Oh, my God. Oh, goodness. My goodness. He's a millionaire. You're not. Ugh, I'm gonna need to have a shower after this stream with how spot on that impression was.
You're saying yes. So I put the question in the middle or the beginning of the sentence, or aren't you open to looking at new ways of earning additional income? Hopefully the answer would be yes. And so I want you to learn finishing those sentences. I love to say things like, doesn't that make sense? That makes sense, doesn't it? Couldn't it? Wouldn't it? Shouldn't it? And
you saw Nathan in my ACN video doing this exceptionally well. Does that make sense with you guys? Does that make sense with you guys? Because Nathan in my ACN video, one of my best videos, go watch it. It was my most viewed video until I put out a different video, which got way more views than it. But if you go on my channel, you won't see that video. And what video am I talking about? I can't say because of legal reasons. Oh! But in my ACN video, you'll see Nathan saying, guys, really simple, blah, 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 blah. Does that make sense with you guys? Well, he just fucking said it's going to be really simple. So if you say, no, it doesn't make sense, who's the idiot? You! I'm smart, you're dumb. Oh yeah, that's what you guys were talking about, the Matilda thing. Yeah. Speaking of Matilda, I talked a little while ago about there's a girl at my gym who looks like Miss Honey from Matilda if she was like a few years younger and in way better shape. Yeah, I actually don't have anywhere to go with that. Okay.
Learning to do that in your sentences rather than just respond with sentences. If you respond with a statement, they're going to respond with a question. So if I can finish my sentence with a question, typically they're going to respond with a statement, usually an affirmative, if I can ask the question properly. The other thing I want you to learn is just alternative of choice. Just learning to give someone the choice between two things that are both acceptable to you.
I want you to listen to this again, and I'm going to show you how actually maniacally villainous this is.
Statement, usually an affirmative,
Watch.
if I can ask the question properly. The other thing I want you to learn is just alternative of choice.
Alternative of choice is what he calls it. Watch.
Just learning to give someone the choice between two things that are both acceptable to you.
Giving someone the choice between two things, both of which are acceptable to you. You know what that is? It's not a, what did he call it? A
statement, usually an affirmative, if I can ask the question properly. The other thing I want you to learn is just alternative of choice. He calls it an alternative of choice. You know what that actually is? The illusion of choice. I remember when I did a babysitting course when I was like 13 years old. I was doing a babysitting course. And there was this thing that was like, they taught us about how when dealing with children, sometimes they're disagreeable because they're children. So rather than saying, do you want milk or apple juice, when you know they're supposed to have milk, instead say something like, do you want your milk in a red cup or a green cup? That way, you've removed the element of choice away from them having milk. You've just given them new choice in terms of which cup they want. That's exactly what Ed is talking about here. The same thing, the same tactic that I was taught when I was 13 years old in a babysitting course for how to get a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old to listen to you is the exact same thing that Ed Mylett is here talking about with this couple here in this demonstration about potentially major financial decisions that they'll make in their life. Investments, life insurance. You know, he's with WFG. So, you know, this is not a small thing that they're buying. This is a very,
complex contract with lots of fine print and many pages that they should be able to understand. And at the very most surface level, you have Ed Mylett skewering and messing with the truth. You want to give them, I keep forgetting the word he used. You want to give them choices. You're not giving them choices. You're taking away choice and making it sound good. That's what you're doing.
Choice. Just learning to give someone the choice between two things that are both acceptable to you. That's a question with two answers. Either the answer is a minor agreement leading towards a major decision, but its best use is for time of appointments, locations, that kind of thing. You'll notice in many of our presentations at the end of the sentence, they'll say, listen, I have a Monday or a Wednesday open. Which one of those would work better for you guys? And then they'll pick either one of them as appropriate. Or would 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock be better? Would 10% into your program or 15% be better? And so I want alternative of choice questions. It's very important that as you're asking questions to people that it not seem so canned. It's got to become, it's why you've got to practice it. It becomes more conversational. I actually have a habit in my real life now when I finish sentences often I'm saying, that makes sense, doesn't it?
I've been taking advice, education, training advice from literal psychopaths in multi-level marketing for so long that in my actual regular everyday life, I have become a psychopath too. I'm Ed Mylett. Welcome to WFG.
It's just because I've learned that that's how I influence people to move forward. The other thing I want you to find when you get an objection, when somebody objects, and by the way, a good presentation eliminates most objections throughout the presentation, but you do want a little resistance when you're finished, because an objection really isn't that. It's typically a question where they don't have enough information to say yes to you. That's really what it is. And so I like when the client, I don't want them to have 25 objections, but I like when I'm done that they ask a couple pointed questions to me, because that's indicative of the fact they're probably going to move forward, but they want me to make them feel a little bit more at ease about doing it.
So lie, and then once you've got them, keep lying until they sign the paper and give you the money. Danielle, yeah, only offer opinions you like, yep. Mars says that it was a little too easy for me to pull out the manipulative boyfriend tactic thing on the fly. I will say I was partially just channeling what I saw from Ed Mylett, but also recently there's this guy on TikTok, I always forget his name, but he has all these sketches about like your manipulative husband who cheated is trying to get you to feel bad for him for moving out. Like oddly specific like characters that he does that are very like realistic and uncomfortable. And I went on a binge of his videos the other day and watched them, so it's still fresh in my mind, some of the shit he said. That's why. That's what he wanted his audience on YouTube to think. Really, he didn't want them to know that he was actually one of these psychopathic evil people in real life. He's just putting on quite the show. Oh, is my mic unmuted? Sorry about that. All right. Reading your comments here. When I finish Satan off, yeah, I didn't even notice that. This is giving me 80s fast food training video vibes. LOL, Danielle, your comments. Influence people to move in the direction where they are more compliant, right? I'm also listening to 1984, the George Orwell book right now, so I'm sure that'll be the topic of conversation for future streams. And you know what's going to be a topic of conversation for future streams? The fact that there was 265 people watching this stream, but only 189 likes. That will definitely stick with me, for sure.
Now, when you get an objection from somebody, the natural human reaction is to answer it. Well, I've heard of WFG before, or I saw this on the internet, or we don't have enough money, or I already like my program. It's easy to say something, a statement, well, my gosh, that's not true about us. Let me tell you the truth. And what you've done now is you've begun to become confrontational. It's begun to become a debate, one in which you will not win. You will not win an argument or a debate with your consumer, with your client, with your customer. And so when you get an objection, I just want you to think this through. If you can just confirm the objection, and there's an old analogy that I wouldn't teach you to be too old school with this, but there's the old analogy of feel, felt, and found. When they give you an objection, we'll see this earlier, I could say, I know exactly how you feel about that. I felt the same way myself when that happened with me, but let me tell you what I found.
Watch how fucking slimy this is.
And that's a way of saying, listen, I understand where you're at. I agree with it. In fact, same situation with my family. That's relatability. Let me tell you what I discovered. Let me tell you what I studied and found out. So
I've heard this so many times as well. I've seen this with my own eyes. Is this a pyramid scheme? Oh, yeah. You know, I used to think this was a pyramid scheme too. That's what I read when I Googled it. I thought the same thing as you. I'm just like you. But then I found out that every company is a pyramid scheme if you really think about it. Walmart is a pyramid scheme too because they've got the manager and then they've got 2 assistant managers and then they've got all these cashiers and then the janitor. So after that, I that's when I learned that everything's multi-level. So, you know, but I totally get what you mean. I felt the same way as you. So no, we're not a pyramid scheme. Isn't that such an interesting answer? Because, and I wish I could, I have legal burdens at the moment. But you've seen me talk about this in very successful videos that almost got 1 million views in 9 days on my channel before, which I can't talk about, where you have one person who's very high up in a company saying something like, we're not a pyramid scheme, pyramid schemes are illegal, as though something being illegal means it couldn't possibly be happening. I'm not a drug dealer. Drug dealing is illegal. Think. As though that, you know, imagine any drug dealer saying that. It's ridiculous. Then you have other people who are equally as high up in the company saying, everything's multi-level marketing. Everything's a pyramid. Okay, so shouldn't y'all be on the same page? Is it a pyramid because everything else is also a pyramid? Therefore, you're absolved of guilt because you're just like everything else? Or are you not a pyramid because pyramids are illegal? Which is it? And, you know, the more clever of these folks would probably say, well, both. We're not a pyramid and everything is multi-level. The clock strikes 13. That's one of the first things in 1984. He talks about, the narrator says, the main character was walking. The clock had just struck 13. Obviously, clocks don't have 13 numbers. It just shows that the dystopian world that they live in the novel 1984, things have become so skewed. The truth has become so twisted and warped that the clock can now strike 13, and no one knows what day it is even. You'd be amazed. It's a slippery slope. You go from Orwellian newspeak, you know, to, I mean, that's what this is. As a matter of fact, I talked about this on a stream a little while ago. There's a book called Double Speak. The author is William Lutz. I unfortunately can't find this book in print, nor can I find the audiobook. But I showed a clip of William Lutz talking about doublespeak recently on the stream, where he talks about one chapter where he talks about deep chilled chickens and therapeutic misadventures. What is a therapeutic misadventure? It's when the surgeon accidentally kills someone on the operating table. They don't call it a failed surgery. They don't call it an accidental death. They call it a therapeutic misadventure. This is doublespeak. This is saying something without actually taking accountability of it because you make it sound different. Sugarcoating. It's, you know, if a girl was to say to you, I didn't cheat on you, I just, and then described something that was cheating. I didn't cheat on my boyfriend, I just made out with this guy. It wasn't really cheating, I just made out with some guy. I actually, a couple of years ago, I was out celebrating a friend's birthday party, and I don't want to put this girl on blast in case she's watching, but there's a girl I know who was like a mutual friend, a friend of my friend who was at this birthday party. And afterwards they went to this like restaurant that turns into a club type vibe at night. It was like there's dancing, but it's also a restaurant. And she was there. Her boyfriend wasn't there. And she's literally full on making out with this one friend in the group. But since that friend is a gay guy, well, it doesn't count. I'm like, but bro, obviously I didn't say this, but in my mind, I'm like, if your boyfriend was here, he'd probably be cheesed that you're making out with some guy. Are you going to tell your boyfriend, oh, well, it's okay, he's gay? I didn't cheat on you. I just made out with some guy, but it's okay because he's gay. You know what I mean? This is double speak. I'm trying to think of like real world examples. You know, deep chilled chickens. Oh, our chickens aren't frozen. They're deep chilled. You made it up. So, you know, and to Ed Mylett, this is just a Tuesday, you know?
when someone gives me an objection, I want to agree with them. I want to say, I understand where you're at. Believe me, I've been there myself. They may say something to me like, listen, we would love to move forward with this, but let me be honest with you, $300 a month is too much money out of our budget right now. Well, I could say something like, well, my gosh, don't you think you need to be able to afford $300 a month? I mean, and then it becomes an argument back and forth. Or I can say something like, listen, I understand that completely. Believe me, Christiane and I were in the exact same situation, so I know how you feel. We were in the same spot. Let me tell you what I discovered, though, about how important it is to be saving money for your family and how great it feels once you're doing it. And then we move forward. And it's a completely different dialogue and becomes a completely different conversation. So if you could learn just those 3 simple things.
That's called misdirection. Don't let Ed Mylett fool you. That is called misdirection.
The 3 things.
Ed Mylett, this does not make you look like a savvy salesman. It makes you look like what you are, a fucking crook.
Are that you learn how to make statements that finish with questions at the end of your sentence or in the middle of it, that you begin to speak in a question sort of format as much as you possibly can. 2, if you learn that when
Benjamin, exactly. And the plan is created. The salesman, broken by his brutal path, finally gets his revenge. I'm pretty sure he's quoting Ponzinomics there. Silica, I will also pay you a full day of wages to see that. An entanglement, exactly. An entanglement. Miles, great example. Great modern example. Jada Pinkett Smith. I didn't cheat on my husband, who I've been married to for decades. I had an entanglement. It wasn't a relationship. It was an entanglement. Yeah, I wasn't. It's not cheating. You were on my mind. Amy Winehouse. What's the song called? They Say Love Is Blind.
When you ask people to move forward, you give them 2 choices, both of which are acceptable to you. That's called alternative of choice. And if you could learn to just confirm objections and relate to that objection, it buys you the chance to now make your statement about what you found. The feel, felt, found, or I've discovered that myself. I know how you feel. That type of a confirmation of the objection that they give you. What we're going to do now in a minute is you're going to watch them object, the typical objections that you may hear in the field, and you'll see me use some of these strategies in overcoming those objections.
Shall we? Let's see it. Objections number 2, preconceptions.
We've talked to somebody from your company before, and he was kind of pushy.
Yeah, I know how you feel. In fact, the first person that approached us with WFG was a little bit that way as well, so believe me. You know what I found out, though, as I really looked into the company a little bit more deeply, I found that these were really good people, and they make a major difference for the families that they see. What would you do if you were our company and you had someone running around being as pushy as that guy was?
Well, I'd probably get rid of him, but or give some training.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I totally agree with you. I think what you're going to find out about our firm is that there's an awful lot of different kinds of people within our firm, but I think you'd agree with me that every company has good and bad involved with their company. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Good. And I hope that you'll find out through the conversation that we'll have today that maybe my approach is a little bit different. But I think the most important thing is you discover the powerful solutions we'll have for the 2 of you here today. That I think the overriding belief you'll have when we're finished is that this is something you should move forward with and that it'll benefit your family, and hopefully at the end of the day you'll like me. So does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
All right.
You would... I never cease to be amazed at the fact that MLM companies, including WFG, I mean, this video is quite old. You look at the quality of this video. This is an older video. Ed Mylett, the tactics he's using in this video are the exact same tactics WFG folks are using still to this very fucking day, making millions and millions of dollars doing this. John Smith, nobodies. Ed Mylett, who is he? A nobody. Bob Proctor, who is he? Nobody. They're all John Smiths. They're all someone who is just willing to fuck the next guy in order to get ahead. They are millionaires. You are not. And it's amazing to me and horrifying to me that this still works. This same strategy. You know, both siding the issue. Oh, yeah. I get what I totally know how you feel. I felt the same way, but then I learned, wouldn't you agree that all companies have good and bad people? This is just the bad apples argument. It's a way of never taking accountability for anything. Well, every McDonald's, you know, if somebody spits in the food at McDonald's, wouldn't you say that that's not fair to say it's about all McDonald's. No, for sure. But if 99.9% of McDonald's restaurants were doing that, I think I could say that. Oh, well, 99% of people, they just keep going. They have the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. You can't get through to them. Like Ed said earlier in this presentation, this training, you'll never win an argument with the customer, with the person you're talking to. Likewise, you will never win an argument with them. How many debates have I had to do on my channel to hammer home the point that they do not get it? They will just keep slipping through your fingers and swerving to the next thing to try to confuse you and stay off the question because they can't handle the fucking heat and they can't answer a truthful question. My debate with Feby Francois, who's in World Financial Group, I asked this guy, don't you agree? Or what did I say? I said, if there were multiple ice cream trucks in the same neighborhood, can't you see how that would hurt the potential business for any one of those trucks? Because now there's more market competition. And you know what he said? It's ice cream. It will melt. These people are so deeply locked away in the matrix, in the sunken place. You know the movie Get Out, when she stirs the tea and hits it, and he goes into the sunken place, and it's like his body, the lights are on, but nobody's home. That's exactly what this is. That's exactly what this is. And this is a non-fictionalized, real-life version of that. Absolutely. So it's just horrifying to me, Ed Mylett, oh yeah, well, wouldn't you, does that make sense with you? There's bad people in every company. Does that make sense with you?
All right. I want you to notice what just happened there. When we got the objection, it would have been very easy for me to say, oh my gosh, and then to begin to defend that.
He literally did a do you like me, right?
That objection. I think it was important that it was a confirmation of what took place, that I gave a statement of fact, and then I asked a follow-up question. And then I let him answer me as to what he would have done in that particular situation, and then move forward with what I wanted to tell him, and then finish with a question to get confirmation and permission to move forward. It's important that you...
By the way, Ed Mylett was the same guy who claimed to be Jessie Lee Ward's mentor. And a month before that poor woman died, I shouldn't say that poor woman, a month before that woman died, Ed Mylett released a podcast episode with her called Doctors Gave Her 4 Months or something like that. And in the beginning of that interview, while this woman is literally weeks away from death from cancer, he brags about how she pays him thousands of dollars a month for training. This is the video. 2 months ago, doctors say she only has months to live. 3 weeks ago, the raw reality, grieving the loss of a close friend. If you were to say that this person is a psychopath, I would agree with you. You can't make this up. Stage 4 cancer nightmare. This is supposedly your friend. Don't believe me? I'll show you. Watch. Watch this.
What would that feel like? What would your emotions be? How would it impact the people around you? How would it change you? And I have somebody sitting across from me that I have grown to love very much. She's a woman that I started coaching. She pays me the big bucks to coach her.
I have someone sitting across from me who I have grown to love very much. And what's the very first thing he says to qualify that love? She pays me the big bucks to coach her. That man right there is a millionaire, and you are not. This is Jessie Lee Ward very shortly before she died, doing this interview. This was 2 months ago. It's been a few weeks now since Jessie Lee Ward has died. This was uploaded July 25th, 2023. So July, August, September. She died in September, right? Today's October 14th. When did she die? It wasn't this month. It was the end of September. September 23rd. So let's continue.
You acknowledge the objection, because if you don't, it'll be his overriding thought throughout the rest of the presentation. No matter what I'm saying, he's going back to that guy. Even though it's an illogical position to think that one person or what they've heard before makes a big difference.
Wow, yeah, he refers to her as his daughter. It's fucking insane.
But you'll find if you'll just let them say it, if you'll confirm it and acknowledge it, begin to ask a question that makes some sense, and then what you notice was I was assumptive. Good closers, people.
Assumptive is not a word. I think the word you're looking for is presumptuous. Ed, you fucking doorknob.
People that are good at persuading people are assumptive. So I assumptively moved forward, but asked permission to do so. I assumed a yes was coming, and he agreed with me. And you'll find, believe it or not, most of the time that will be the case.
Danielle's saying that Jessie Lee Ward paid Ed Mylett $30,000 or $30,000 an hour. Dream Chaser said, play some of that video. He is a psychopath. I actually haven't seen that video, so let me check it out. Ed Mylett, Jessie Lee Ward, apparently this Emily E says the tribute video, he just talks about himself and uses it to shill his coaching. Spec says, I have grown to love this woman as soon as that check cleared. September 16th, she died. Okay, so literally a month and a half later, he's dropping that video about, or less than 2 months later, is dropping the video. Sorry, less than 2 months after he dropped that podcast interview, she died. You know? He also encouraged her not to rest when she expressed she wanted to. You can't make this shit up, bro. Assumptively. Fucking idiot. All right, let's see. The raw reality. Grieving the loss of a close friend. I don't know, bro. All right, let's see.
Many of you probably already know from my social media, but about 48 hours ago, my beautiful dear friend who you heard on our show just several weeks ago, Jessie Lee Ward, she passed away of stage 4 cancer. When Jessie Lee died, she had problems and worries and concerns like you do right now. My dad had made mistakes in his life. So did Jessie Lee. So have I. We're not our mistakes. We're not our
He got her birthday wrong in the tribute video.
sins. So if we're none of those things, you can't take your accumulations with you. You can't take your body with you. You can't take your problems with you. You can't take your worries and fears and emotions
Doesn't know her birthday, but such a dear friend.
with you. So what do you actually leave here? Because you can leave something here. You do leave something here. There's a little part of my dad in me now. That life force, that spirit, that soul is within me.
How did he do this for 31 minutes? Does he actually talk about Jessie?
They care about would love the person that they know they're supposed to be in love with, or take the big scary chance that everybody has told them just doesn't make any sense at all and just live their life. Because when you realize that every day is not guaranteed, you're not worried so much anymore about offending people because of your opinions or your truth. You start realizing that your authentic self is all that you really need to be. It's knowing that every moment is actually precious.
It helps the show grow so we can get even more success.
My friend died of cancer. Like and subscribe.
So much.
All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. So this week I come to you with a very heavy heart.
Is this video monetized? I have vidIQ, so I'm pretty sure I can check.
A different type of podcast this week, one that I wish I wasn't doing. One that I've tried to record now 3 times, and before I hit the record button, I couldn't stop.
This video is monetized. I have a vidIQ extension. This video is monetized, of course.
The tears from flowing. So depending on when you're listening to this, I'm so sad if this is the first time you're hearing this, but I'm delivering some really difficult news, tragic news. Many of you probably already know from my social media, but about 48 hours ago, my beautiful dear friend who you heard on our show just several weeks ago, Jessie Lee Ward, passed away of she passed away of stage 4 cancer that we had talked about on this very show, and the fight that she was having.
Okay, I'm wrong about the word presumptive or assumptively, whatever.
having.
Ed Mylett is worse than a fraud.
And that we thought that she was winning. And unfortunately, my sweet friend lost her battle with this terrible disease that we need to cure.
Have you guys seen that we need to cure? Ed, are you using some of your, what is it, $600 million net worth to do that? I'd love to see the receipts that show that you're working towards ending cancer, because you quite openly bragged about the big checks that Jessie Lee Ward, the person dying of the cancer, was paying you for your coaching. So what are you doing to end the cancer? You know, if you were such a good businessman, maybe you would have protected your investment. I don't know. But if you've ever seen the Black Mirror episode Crocodile, shorthand for crocodile tears, that's what we see. That's what we are seeing here.
Just 48 hours ago. So this is very fresh for me. But I thought it was important because we're like a big family here, the millions of us that are a part of this community that are...
David, I recommend after this stream is over, you go back and rewatch it from the points we started talking about Ed Mylett. You're sort of joining this partway through. But you are mistaken. He seems like that. I know he seems like that. It behooves him to seem like that. But just like Patrick Bet-David, Ed Mylett made his money in MLM, specifically World Financial Group.
Or part of the Ed Mylett show or my social media, etc. That I just share with you in real time how I feel and how I'm dealing with this, because I know many of you have been grieving at the loss, that you fell in love with her when she was on my show, and we're following her journey since that time. You're talking about a woman who's 34 years old, in the prime of her life.
LOL Specs. Just like I shed these tears, you can shed that hair. That's why I use Manscaped. Use code JLEE50 for 50% off. So bad.
Was making millions and millions of dollars, where just many years ago she was broke. She had found the love of her life, and I was honored. I had known Jessie Lee, y'all. I'd known Jessie Lee, been around her for 4 or 5 years, 6 years actually, at different speaking engagements. She ran up and took a picture to me in 2018 at the 10X Growth Con. Just to get a picture with me. And then I watched her at different events as her life was changing. She would be like a speaker before I would get up and talk, and I knew who she was. And
is this all about him?
And
how the fuck did he go on this long?
I'll never forget thinking, well, is that everything in our lives are happening for us and not to us. In this case, she shared on my podcast that at one point, supposed to mean, what am I supposed to learn from this? In losing.
How do I make this about me? How do I make money off this?
My sweet, beautiful friend. She was such a life force. In my life, my dad was the most important life force. And I have to tell you, when my dad passed away, I was with his body. There was about force. Our soul goes to heaven, but we leave a part of our life force, our spirit, our love, our that matter. You, your soul, your spirit, who you are as a man or a woman. I tell you all the time, you were born to do something great with and experience and give, and who matters. Start focusing on those who. If there's something you need to fix with someone, go fix it. Humble yourself and fix it. Time's running out. Time's running out. Those are my thoughts today. Jessie Lee, I want to tell you I love you and I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. You're home. I'm so happy. All the things on the show.
So weird. That's the same Dominic Izzo shit. I'm happy, Jessie. This is what Dominic Izzo said. I'm happy she died. She's in heaven now. I'm jealous of her. Then also in the same video, I'm angry she... Bro. Imagine being so confused by yourself. All right, here we go. This one's short. Objections number 3, prior insurance.
Well, I'm happy with my current insurer.
Oh, that's fine, Mark. What are you happy about that he's been able to do for you?
Well, I like our rep. He sends helpful information, and I think he's doing a good job.
Yeah, since you were able to find one company to really help you with your insurance needs, and by the way, I think that's fantastic that he's done such a good job for you, wouldn't it make sense to at least explore some of the other areas financially we might be able to help you?
Well, I guess so. I understand there's always price changes going on and services being added.
Yeah, I agree. At WFG, what we really do is we try to take a comprehensive approach with this financial dream map and see if there aren't some strategic places where you could realign some of your money or just maybe position them a little bit differently. So I think it probably makes sense to at least try to move forward, don't you?
Yes, affordability is a good thing.
Yeah, at least taking a look to see if some of it makes sense probably makes sense to move forward, doesn't it?
I guess so.
Okay. One of the things I want you to at least notice that just took place there is I acknowledged again that I agreed with him when he gave me the objection. I said, yes, I agree, I understand where you're at, and I
No, there's other objections. No time to discuss. No time to dedicate to it. Now here's the one, multi-level marketing. Is this multi-level marketing?
Is this multi-level marketing?
How do you feel about multi-level or network marketing?
Doesn't answer the question. Answers it with a question. How do you feel about multi-level marketing?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I hear you. Is it your concern that we're talking about doing something where we're going to recruit a bunch of friends and family and get them into a business and they're going to buy all these products they don't need and then your reputation is going to be trashed forever?
Because that's exactly what we're going to do.
Yes.
I know exactly how you feel. Believe me when I tell you that is not something my wife and I would want to get involved with either. And it was one of my initial questions. This whole recruiting conversation and coming to business with me sounds a little bit like that, doesn't it?
Yes.
I want you to know very clearly that's not the case. We're in an industry that requires licensings and exams and a very extensive training.
You've heard it all before. In my very first WFG video, Hartej's brother, the guy who said he's my younger brother. Remember when he was on the phone with the police, calling the police on me? He's like, we're a highly regulated business and we can't have it. What the fuck does it matter if you're a highly regulated? First of all, your little office here in Edmonton on the, in Mill Woods, this specific office is not highly regulated. Insurance as an industry is regulated in the sense that you have to get an insurance license through the government. You have to get your education materials and licensing from the government. Yeah. But them throwing this shit around, mind you, the question Ed was asked here was, is this multi-level marketing? Well, is the concern that you're going to have this, and by the way, we're highly regulated and we have licenses, and just because you get a license and just because that license is given to you from the government does not absolve you or preclude you from the potential for wrongdoing. It's like saying, I have a driver's license, so there's no way I was speeding. Your driver's license is also a government license that is highly regulated. Made it up. You made it up. It's just say anything. Oh, we're highly regulated. It's just decorative language. It's just flim-flam. Nonsense. There's no way I could have been drinking and driving. I'm a licensed, I have a driver's license from the government. This is highly regulated. Drinking and driving is illegal. Do you think any of that would actually get you out of, a speeding ticket or a DUI, or, you're standing there in the courtroom in front of the judge and he's about to decide what your punishment is for drunk driving, and you say, Your Honor, there's no way I could have been drunk driving. Drunk driving is illegal. Well, we got you on the breathalyzer. What are you going to say then? Multi-level marketing people. Well, we got you on the 99%. Oh, well, yeah, 99% of people in all think. The Matrix is real.
Program, and there's a screening process to even get associated with us in the first place. So absolutely
There's a screening process even to get associated with us in the first place. The screening process is, do you have a beating heart and the money to pay to sign up? You're in.
Means that is not the case. I want you to have no concerns about that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, great. That's a very important question. I want you to notice when they initially asked me, is this a network or multi-level marketing kind of a company? One of the important things I didn't do is immediately say no. And because I don't know how they feel about that.
So I'm going to lie, a lie of omission, until they reveal their hand. LOL, yeah, specs me just trying to walk around Hartej's brother. That's so funny. I look back on that first WFG video I did, and I can't, sometimes I think, how did you have the balls to do that? But then also when I'm in it, when I'm really in the moment, even WFG Part 4, I was pressing the smoke, in my opinion, even harder on Jarek Chin and Ben Hilborn and Greg Stranadka. I was pressing even harder. I don't know, when I'm in that zone, I have to just remind myself why I'm doing it. And I think about me being 19 and my best friend, losing my best friend, and the constant DMs and comments I get every single day about MLM. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? What's going to happen? I'm going to get punched in the face. Okay, I'll survive that, Play.
They may feel great about the fact of network marketing or multi-level marketing. They may have had a good experience or heard of success stories or something of that nature. So I want them to tell me. The other reason is, if I say no, that's a statement. And so what you're going to do is ask me another question.
Watch as I have to be strategic about every single word coming out of my mouth. We are legit, I promise, right?
And you're going to be even more skeptical. And so what I did is I agreed with you. I asked you how you felt about it, and then you saw the strategy there because it's true. I came back and said, I know exactly how you feel, and this is important. What they really feel is that we're going to get them involved in something that is not going to represent their family and represent their reputation. And so that's why I said, is your real concern more that we're going to, and then I went into what it was, which we all know is the real concern when someone asks that question. And the fact that you say the concern before they say it, the fact that you bring up the real objection, their objection is in network marketing. Their objection is how they're going to look and how they're going to perceive and what it is. You take away the objection. Once you get how they surfacely feel about it, you take away the objection by being the one to bring up how they really feel. And then in their minds, they're saying, well, my gosh, this guy knows exactly how he feels, because we've all felt that way. We all had that question going in. And then I let them know, look, I know exactly how you feel. The fact that we're doing this recruiting process certainly sounds similar, doesn't it? And then I assure them that we are not one of those things, and that we are a regulated business that requires licensings and exams, and et cetera, as you saw. So be important to confirm it.
Shit. Am I back? Shit. Am I back? Okay, I am. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys. Shit got fucked up. My OBS crashed. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Where did I lose you? I crashed OBS while I was trying to fix some buttons here. My mistake. All right, did we get through the whole multi-level marketing thing? The objection? 300 people watching, y'all. Thumbs up the ting. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. All right. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, sometimes I do worry that the MLM folks got me. They cut my internet somehow. Yeah, the roids thing too with Ed Mylett. Him and Dominic Izzo, I feel like, are for sure juicing, right? All right. So yeah, if all of this disgusts you, this Ed Mylett stuff that we're watching, please remember back to earlier during this stream when I talked about how the mayor of Edmonton, where I live, Amarjeet Sohi, was recently at a World Financial Group branch opening, talking about what a great achievement and great success it was. Let me just play it for you. Let me show it. Let me show it to you. All right, here we go. I really can't believe this fucking guy is the mayor. Let me play this for you guys. Hold on, I want to play this on its own if I can. Okay, here we go. Make sure no... Okay, so... Oh, this got reset. Shit. This is the video. Watch this. Please watch this, my friends. Okay? Do you see... No, let me just play it. Let me just play it.
Such a big achievement, and we wish them all the best.
Big achievement. We wish them all the best. Look in the window. It's quick. World Financial Group, the window right behind them. Do you see this guy right here with the blue turban? That's Jaswinder Dhaliwal, the guy from my WFG Part 1 video who said, Hartej is not here. He's the one who says, I'm the CEO here. Let me do this. Make it a better view here and make me smaller in the corner. Look.
Such a big achievement, and we wish...
Now, if I go back frame by frame, you'll see it. This guy right here, it's tough to see because he's right here. But look, see it right there. Clear shot of his face. This guy right here in the gray suit and the black turban, that's Raja Dhaliwal from my WFG Part 3 video, who you can see saying things like, you are here to recruit 40 people. You need to taproot. You need to book more appointments to achieve your dreams and blah, 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 blah. And this is the mayor, Amarjeet Sohi.
Such a big achievement, and we wish them all the best. I look forward to the.
Can you believe it?
Thank you very much, Mayor Frank and Amarjeet Sohi. Really appreciate.
Can you believe this? It's just a short clip, but the fact that the mayor is there bigging up a multi-level marketing company anyways is tantamount to betraying the people, in my opinion. Why? Because it is a proven fact that 99% of people involved in multi-level marketing end up worse off than they were before. And WFG is no different. And when your mayor is promoting something or saying that it is a great achievement that they have expanded deeper into your city that you are the mayor of, well, you've betrayed your duty to the people that you serve. You are a public servant if you are the mayor. You work for me. You work for us. I just find it absolutely horrifying. And yeah, I will be putting out a video about this. Almost joined an MLM while you were gone. Hilarious. Yeah, OBS on a laptop is very tough. Poop sound effect for the mayor? Absolutely. There you go. I couldn't find an Ed Mylett Wikipedia. Why doesn't the biggest entrepreneur of all time have one? Hilarious. Yeah. Crazy. Appreciate you, Métis Astra. It's insane. It's insane. Are those the guys who wear the green blazers? Yeah, blue jacket, red jacket, all that shit. That's them. Yep. Literally, that's the same people. You know. Crazy shit. Crazy shit. You can't make it up. You can't also make up the fact that there's 300 people watching and only 250 likes, but yeah. You guys know I've been streaming once a week recently. For the past little while, I've just been streaming once a week. But I'm debating going back to 2. I do still think 3 was too many, especially because it cuts into the time I could be editing videos and releasing videos. But I might consider doing 2 again if the demand is there. You know, we'll see. We'll see what the bags are saying. We'll see what the goons are saying. Last clip. Let's watch this clip here. This is one of the recruiting objections about not wanting to be a salesperson. Let's check this out. And let me put this back proper. Here we are. The clock strikes 13. Hey, my GF says hi with the 3rd bag of the night. That's the... Thank you. 3 again. Let's give you more money to convince you. Thank you. Your GF says hi. Oh, wait. I just realized something. When I read that username, I thought it was like... I read it. I interpreted it as like it's a dude saying that he's chilling with my girlfriend, and that's why the username is your GF says hi. But now I'm thinking that it might be a girl donating that, calling herself my girlfriend. The fuck? Yeah. I don't know. I'm completely oblivious anyways. Thank you guys. 2 streams, says Jelly Snack. Petition for 2 weekly. Okay. Was the background inspired by CoffeeZilla? No, I think I was using this background before Coffee did his $10 million studio thing. I could be wrong, though. CoffeeZilla is a friend of mine. MLM. Kitchener Waterloo loves stupid Marco. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Do you like me?
Marco and CoffeeZilla live in mansions across from each other, yeah. Maybe we need to do the call-in show. So cock, is this user saying she's my girl? So funny. Yeah. Maybe I've let my head get too big. All right, let's watch this one.
I could never sell anything.
Why do you feel that way?
Well, I could never talk anyone into giving me money for anything.
I know exactly what you're saying. How would you feel, though, if you were about to educate somebody and help them in a way that would benefit their family? Would that be different if you were educating, do you think?
Yes.
No, a guy. Your first guess was right. I know you're single, though. You should get yourself a lady. Wow. I took a major L right there, huh?
It would be if I was educated.
Yeah, like, for example, what we did for you guys tonight, we were able to save you a couple $100s a month on your program. You're going to put away that money now into a plan, and I think we've agreed potentially that could mean hundreds of thousands of dollars to your family long term down the road as we implement this strategy. How do you think people would feel about you if you could do that for them?
Probably pretty good.
They'd feel good about you, wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
I think maybe another question I'd ask you is, how would you feel about yourself if you could go into someone's home and maybe get a daughter into college that wouldn't go otherwise? Or you might be able to go into their home and relieve that burden of debt that's in their life. How would you feel about yourself if you could actually do that for somebody?
Well, I would feel pretty good.
If I could show you a way to do that where it could potentially make you $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 potentially on a part-time basis, or maybe transfer into a full-time career, would that be something that
What
might
did he just say?
you a way to do that where it could potentially make you $30,000, $40,000, $50,000
$30,000, $40,000, $50,000 on a part-time basis. Deceptive earnings claim.
Potentially on a part-time basis, or maybe transfer into a full-time career? Would that be something that might intrigue you?
Sure.
Oh, shit. Damn, I'm really lit. This stream, 300 people, and I forgot to even post the Instagram story about it. Damn.
What if we could
Thank
do
you,
it
TK Subi. Appreciate you.
in such a way, too, where you wouldn't have to become a salesman and not change your entire personality? Because the reason I asked that is I didn't want to change the way I am, the way I've handled myself my entire life. If there was a way that I could show you to do that, where you didn't have to become a salesman, but you could feel the way you felt, as you just described a minute ago, and people would feel about you the way they'd feel.
We need to burn down whatever scumbag factory is producing these Cardone clones. Yeah, I agree. Also, LOL at Ed Mylett saying, I didn't want to have to change the way I was. Bro, you're literally the most cookie cutter, hun bro, brobot, MLM shill ever. Hi from your GF. Y'all just trolling me now with these. But thank you. I appreciate it. How are we doing for this dono goal? Not bad. Not bad. It's been a while since somebody's dropped a really big stinking bag. And part of me is itching for it, you know, because I don't know if you guys know this. I had the alerts off for a while, and I think that was something that affected it. Because everybody was saying, oh, well, not everybody, but some people were saying, there's too many pop-ups during the stream. But I also think that's what people like, having their donation pop up on the screen in red. And I made all these custom like alerts for like, if it's $20, it's a special thing. If it's 50 or more, it's a different thing. If it's 100 or more, it's a different thing. If it's 150 or more, it's a different thing. And then if it's 200 or more, it plays the Nicki Minaj instrumental from the song Only, and I'll perform the whole Nicki verse with a passion you've never seen before. But that hasn't happened in a long time.
Would that be something you'd be open to looking at?
Well, if I didn't have to be a salesman, yes, that'd be a good thing.
Okay, I think I can show you how to be successful in the business and not have to become some sales guru. Okay, fair enough?
Fair enough.
All right, let's take a look.
So fucking funny. You guys' comments. How would you, Bad Dog, how would you feel if I could put you $40,000 in debt on a part-time basis? Right? You guys are here with the good comments tonight, and the real G's are in the chat tonight. Why doesn't the government do something about these con men? I'm going to be talking about that in my new video too, about Amarjeet Sohi and his co-signing of WFG. I personally believe that there is more money in, just like there's more money in the research than there is in the cure, there's more money for the government there's more money for the government if they just make these companies pay fines and apologize and keep it pushing. There's more money in that than them having to actually do their job, meaning the regulatory authorities, the Department of Justice in the US, FTC, SEC, whoever else. It's more work for them to actually have to do their job and investigate and litigate and risk losing the case and all this shit. It's easier to just say, all right, look, you were moving like a pyramid scheme, pay $10 million and, give us $10 million and, promise to not do it again. It's not, I follow the money, bro. Truly follow the money. Sorry, I should, even though I'm late on it, I should make the Instagram story about the stream. That way, even if people see this story tomorrow, they'll know that I have a new stream and they can click it. But damn, this was really lit. The viewership for the amount of people love when I talk about WFG. For the fact that I didn't even post the story. Bear with me. This is the most entertaining stream. Okay, here we go. Did it. I'm done. How on earth is it not a sales job? Well, you don't say it's a sales job. Matter of fact, you don't say you're selling anything. What have we seen people like Feby Francois from WFG in my debate say? They don't sell anything. If you ask them what they do, they help families. Well, how do they help families? By selling life insurance. To them, selling life insurance sounds a lot worse than helping a family. Case in point, I don't know if this made it into the WFG Part 3 video, but during one of the Zoom meetings that I attended with Raja Dhaliwal that he was hosting and doing the presentation, he said, you don't ever want to say to somebody that you're working or selling something because nobody wants to buy anything and they don't want you to feel like you're selling them. So instead, and this is the slimiest shit ever, he says, tell your friend that you need to give them a gift. Tell them you need to give them a gift. Thank you, TK Subi. Tell your friend you need to give them a gift. Well, why? Because you have to be in person to receive a gift. You have to meet them in person to receive a gift. And of course, when you meet up with them, what is the gift that they receive? Knowledge. I should make that a soundbite, the Ty Lopez knowledge. Yeah, here, this is part of the video. Yeah, okay, I did include it. I'm the best. Here, this is from WFG Part 3, 134,000 views. Hidden video, partially hidden video. This is Raja Dhaliwal, who was standing right behind the mayor. Look at this guy. Look how skinny he was compared to me. That's actually crazy. Wow, look at the gains. Government of Canada. This was from end of 2021.
Now, the minute you are telling your friend that I started a new business, your friend thinks you're about to sell them something. And nobody wants to buy anything. This is why they give you immediate rejection and adversity. I'm not interested. So you are creating all the problems just because you're saying whatever.
In one meeting I attended, Raja literally talks about how the best way to convince someone to meet up with you, to present WFG to them, is to tell them that you have to give them a gift. Bullshit! Literal fucking horseshit. I don't know how did I lose that clip or whatever. Anywho, let's open team viewer, please. Go to Walmart and get one Best Buy gift card. Literally the king, Indian phone scammer who has made it to the West. This is perfect for them. This is like, if you're an Indian phone scammer of the highest level, you can be in an MLM. You can be in World Financial Group. It's crazy. And even in Raja's speeches, he talks about, I used to be a cab driver. Bro, think about that. They say it as being a, some rags to riches adversity, they came up type shit. I look at that as, those are your qualifications. You were a cab driver. It's not like you were a neurosurgeon in India and you came over here and your qualifications, you didn't have the right accreditation from the Canadian, medical whatever. So that's why you were a cab driver. No, you were just a cab driver in lieu of being a good businessman. Insane. Hello, my name is John Jackson. I'm calling you from down the street. Anytime an Indian phone scammer calls you, ask them what city they're from. And then when they say, ask them how the weather is. Or say, I live in that same city too. How's the weather? They'll usually hang up because they don't have time to Google the weather. They didn't expect you to ask them that. Insane. Download any decks. Download Open Team Viewer. Fucking hilarious. Massively, yes, thank you. FFL says the same thing, yep. The government needs those biz license fees too. Yeah. Ed Mylett is the definition of uninformed consent. Hilarious. Are we bigging up my gains or what? You're not selling anything. You're just sharing what you love. Oh my God. That's why my ex-friend in WFG kept saying he had a gift for me. Damn. Sorry to hear that, Kiki. Marco, where can I find WFG Part 3? You should be able to search it, but I'll post it in my Discord too as well if you want. I'll post a re-upload of it, or you can use a VPN. But all right, this is the last video. This is a more fancier one, and it's even older, I believe, based on the look of it. This was uploaded in 2014 to that Tiger Team Biz channel, but it's called BFS2, Bullfucking Shit 2, Approach and Contact Ed Mylett. So let's see. I'm curious to see this. LOL, look at the comments on this. We got Benjamin, who's in the chat right now, commenting on this. Man said, if your business was legit, you'd never cause problems by answering questions. This is a shining example of why WFG is anything but an honest business. Hilarious. Hartej knows this guy. Is he behind the plant? I did this for 2 weeks. Huge waste of time. Too many lies. Ignacio, thank you, Ignacio. Appreciate you, bro. Nacho! Because Nacho Libre's name is Ignacio. All right. I ate some bugs. I ate some grass. I used my hand to wipe my tears. So funny. When I was like 10 and I saw that in Nacho Libre. So funny. Frodo, what up? How's it going, Invader Bales? Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you. All right.
I'm excited to have a chance to share some ideas with you today about the approach and contact, which most people would tell you inside the business format system may be the most important component inside our system, is the ability to make approaches and contact people successfully in our business.
So what you're going to do is you're going to walk up to some lady in Target shopping for picture frames and tell her you like her shoes. That's step one. After that, you're going to say, do you keep your options open in terms of making income? She's going to uncomfortably say, I never thought about it. Do I know you? Then you're going to say, oh, well, the funny thing about that is, and then you're in.
One of the great opportunities inside the system is to know that it's not necessarily talents that make the key people in our business successful. You know, talents are typically gifts, but skills are learned. And the business format system is a system full of skill sets. And today we're going to be breaking down for you what some of those skills are.
Oh, Ignacio said that movie got me bullied in school. Oh, no, and here I am reigniting your trauma. I'm sorry, Ignacio. I actually think it's fucking cool. I would never use it to bully you. I think it's cool. I love that name. Ignacio's a sick name. It's a macho name, and it's a nacho name also. But it's I love that name.
These are things that I think you're capable of learning, and if you do learn them, I believe your likelihood of success increases dramatically. And so we're going to start today with a little bit of review. You know, we've talked briefly today about the prospect portion of our system, the top 25 system, and I think it's important to review that. You know, in our business, one of the things you need to know is there's an exchange principle that's in play. And that is that when you enter our system and you begin to run the business format system, you're going to be going out and getting trained in your market and having a great opportunity to learn about our concepts and products, our system, our strategies, etc. But one of the great things in place here is that although you'll exchange your market and a chance to have that done in your market, you in return, receive the opportunity to have that done in other folks' markets in your business. And so although you'll be trained in your market, you'll have the ability to go train people in their markets many, many times over again, potentially inside our system. And so that exchange principle in play allows you to have a perpetual opportunity for contacts and appointments as your business begins to expand and grow. And that's a key component in our system, is understanding the principle of exchange and the principle of how important it is to know how to get into someone's market properly.
A minute and 39 seconds, and he has said nada.
Contact that market and have some success. You know, if you look at someone's market and you make a top 25 list, one of the things I like to tell people as they enter our system is to say, listen, you started a business here. And I think it's unlike no other business that you might have started.
So fucking boring. I swear if it weren't for me adding some spice onto this content, we would be doomed to never learn about multi-level marketing because this is so fucking boring.
Let's say you put $250,000 down to buy a restaurant. You're opening an Italian restaurant and you've invested the money and the capital and your heart and soul in starting this business and you're excited about it, and you know the grand opening of that restaurant is, let's say, 3 weeks.
Waffling, filibustering, nonsense, flim-flam, babble, gobbledygook, poppycock, whatever terms you want to use. Jibber jabber, that's all this is.
Away. Well, prior to that grand opening, you're going to have a pre-grand opening.
No, the fuck you're not.
You're going to have potential contacts and friends and associates, centers of influence, people that you respect, come down prior to you opening to the general
Looks like a funeral.
public and come in and taste the food and look at the menu.
Looks like the set of Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis.
And have a sense of the ambiance and the service that you're going to provide there. And the reason you're doing that is, there are multiple reasons. One,
Dig into this word salad. Would you like a nothing burger with a side of word salad? Got you.
is you really want their opinion. You want to know how they feel about it. Number two, you're going to want any suggestions they may have on how to improve things. Third, it's an opportunity for you to bounce ideas off of them and to discover whether there are any things inside that restaurant that need changing or excite them. You're also looking for potential...
Let me skip ahead and see if this gets any less fucking boring.
For you. We build your top 25 list. The key things of building that list, as you've heard, are very simple. You know, I want to know the sorts of people that if your car broke down in the middle of the night and it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you're on the side of the road, who's the guy that would come pick you up? Who's using the approved scripts, approved company scripts that are inside the business format system? You must use approved company scripts inside the business format system. Also, make sure you're referring to our national do not call list, that you're contacting the appropriate people. Now, having said that, there's a variety of scripts, but conceptually, I like what I call the help me script. If I'm role-playing with a new recruit and they're going to be contacting their own market, I want it to be simple, clear, and concise. And I call it the help me script. And very simply put, if they were calling their market, they'd call and say, hey, Bob, you know, this is Ed, and there'd be some small talk there for a while, and at one point, they'd engage them in the conversation. And they'd say, listen, you know, and this is not an exactness, I want you to use the scripts, but I want you to have the concept in your mind. And when they say, hey, listen, you know, the reason I was calling was I need your help. I've run into a company I'm very excited about, and I'd like to run some things by you. I'd really like to get your opinion about what I'm doing. And I don't know whether you'd be interested or not, but you may know somebody who's interested.
Welcome to Building Fortunes Radio. Make sure you check us out at buildingfortunesradio.com. Along with our marketing partners, we're here to help our PM marketing network lead customers build their businesses and make the world a better place. At Building Fortunes, we know how much your business means to you and the people important to you. So spread the word, tell a friend, join our newsletter, and go make a difference in your world.
You asked for it.
Now on to our show with your host, Peter Mingles.
You asked for it.
Hello, everyone. Peter Mingles here. You're listening to us on Building Fortunes Radio. It's www.buildingfortunesradio.com for all those people that might be unfamiliar with my voice. Because you're a new listener, we do these radio shows every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 p.m. Central Time, and this is actually Scott Johnson's segment.
How long has it been since we've listened to a BFR? Months?
So I started Building Fortune Radio a long time ago. It was towards the tail end of 2012.
Where's the bingo? Where's the BFR bingo? Beyond, are you here? BFR bingo. Can I just Google it? Oh, I have it. I'm the best. Here we go. Oh, no, shit. I don't have it here. BFR bingo. Hold on. It's in the Discord. Somebody post the link. I'll keep it playing. I'll keep it playing. He's already recapped the past.
Beginning part of 2013, I wanted a platform where we'd be able to speak about stuff related to home-based businesses, and we deal with network marketing a lot on the radio show. Well, I did a radio show with a gentleman named Roger Van Vlissingen, who's a smart dude. He's an anti-MLMer, but he was making some very logical and critical things about MLM, and he was writing for an organization called Seeking Alpha, which is still there. If you go to seekingalpha.com, you'll see. But that's a publicly traded kind of opinionated website, if you will. So they have companies that talk about stuff that goes on. So anyway, so one thing led to another, and I said, hey, Roger, I did this radio show. Could you kind of be on here? You make some interesting points. He came on a couple of times, and one of those times, Scott Johnson had heard the radio show, and he called me up, and he says, you know, Peter, there's one thing that it seems like nobody is really talking about. And I said, what's that, Scott? And he said, the MLM tool scam. I didn't know, for those newer people, what Scott meant by the MLM tool scam. But I did have some of my own negative experiences with Amway. And my negative experiences with Amway, big deal, overpriced products. When I say, big deal, you know, you could arguably say that, you know, this costs more to manufacture or whatever, costs more to retail. Some people might say other things about maybe the compensation plan.
And Paz says Peter runs seekingbeta.com. So fucking funny.
Or maybe the way the company was run or anything else like that. But relative to my Amway experience, I found that the biggest negative was their system. They had books, tapes, and functions, and not that books, tapes, or functions were a bad thing. It's the way they push them and the way they
let me do a new one.
push them. So
you guys can follow along with the bingo in the chat. I posted the link.
It just was weird, and I quit 3 separate times as I found out that most of the money was being made on the tools.
The 3 separate times thing is also getting hired and fired 3 separate times is also on the bingo sheet. It's randomized every time here. So, but there should be 2. There should be Peter recaps the history of BFR, and Roger Van Blissingen should also be on the bingo sheet. And then what was the other thing that he just said right there?
And the third time, my suspicion.
Oh yeah, hired and fired myself 3 times. That should also be on there. Okay, I'm gonna do one more refresh because I feel like I need those. I'll take the free space. Okay, Amway tool scam. I think we got that one. Anti-MLMer. They didn't say Hun yet. Anyways, let's just run it like this. Let's see what happens.
On the first 2 was that most of the money was being made on the tools, which we weren't getting credit for or paid on. And the third time actually validated that that was the case, and then I was done. So when Scott said the tool scam, I wasn't sure if
Peter said Marco won't be invited back to the MLM conference. That's so funny. I had like a 45-minute phone call with Bill Keep the other day. I'm pretty sure I will be invited back, but all good.
Talking about the Amway thing that I was remembering, but I asked him if he had a website, and he said he sure does. One of the websites Scott Johnson has is stoptheamwaytoolscam.wordpress.com. That's what I knew. He was talking about the same thing that I was talking about. Well, to kind of abbreviate my introduction a little bit, because Scott has a returning guest he's going to introduce in just a little bit.
I would pay money to hear Scott and Peter talk about Palestine, Israel.
To shorten that, Scott and I started to do these radio shows. Sometimes we do them ourselves. Lots of times we talk, of course, about MLM. Lots of times we talk about the tool scams and the other things related to what makes network marketing either good or bad. We've spoken about a lot of other topics, everything from, believe it or not, the business model of child sex trafficking and a lot of the similarities to MLM. We've spoken about pyramids and cults and Ponzi schemes and all kinds of FTCs, FDAs, everything else like that. We've spoken about anti-MLM supposed gurus on YouTube, and we've had a really great run at doing our radio show. One thing did change since last week. The world, I think, has changed. You might as well mark it on the calendar, obviously, with the invasion or the attack on Israel with Hamas, and we're not going to probably touch base on...
Wow. How is it? I really haven't lost my touch. How is it that after months of not listening to BFR, I'm able to predict with surgical precision and surgical military drone strike accuracy the things that they will say on this shit?
Much or any of that as well, but I got to share with you, just like with 9/11, when we went through that in 2001, you said this is going to change the world. I think October 7th of 2023 is going to change the world. Who knows where it goes, but we're watching it right now. So, having said that, I want to keep this conversation in perspective. There's a lot of people going through a lot of stuff in this world. This MLM, kibitzing that will go back and forth.
Thank you, Peter, for saying there's a lot of people going through a lot of stuff in this world. You've done your part, sir, by saying that.
This MLM stuff that we'll talk about back and forth, relatively speaking, to some people that might be not listening in or some people that are listening in, is all chump change, small stuff relative to the big things that are happening in this world. I just wanted to add that in, although we might not talk about it at all on this radio show. The world has changed since the last time we've done this radio show, and we're watching it as we speak, and who knows where it leads us, so we'll see how that goes. But having said all of those things, I want to say, Scott Johnson, thanks for being here on your own radio show, and I'll let you do your introduction of your returning guest.
Hey, Peter, thanks for having me. And you're right. This is a little show about MLMs, and there's life and death going on actually every day. All over the world, there's things going on.
Sabrina, thank you so much. Sabrina says, so blessed to support you. Keep fighting the good fight. Thank you, Sabrina. Really means a lot. Thank you.
And even in our country, even if it's not life and death, there are a lot of different...
Sabrina's first super chat, everyone. Big up.
Things going on, a lot of different controversies, a lot of people trying to create change and get attention on different topics. And it seems like, it just goes on and on and on. Year after decade of these things, it just continues, even though it looks obvious that something needs to be done.
Yeah, Angela, the wisdom of Scott Johnson. If Marco would only listen to him, he would have 1 million subscribers and not a tiny 88,000. Peter and Scott have been saying for 3 years that my channel is dying, by the way. I started this year with like 59,000 subscribers, I'm pretty sure. I'm at 88. By New Year's, we'll see where we're at. I have a lawsuit or 2 or 3 or 10 to beat, and then probably we'll hit 100.
It just seems like it takes a really long time, and we're talking decades for anything to happen, if it does happen. So, yeah, it really is quite the interesting world we live in. And I think that you're right, that Hamas attack on Israel is going to cause a lot of major changes. It looks like Israel has pushed them back, and now they're just going to basically roll through the entire territory and wipe out every Hamas character they can find. And we're talking almost 500,000 people in Israel have been activated, military people. They've got, I think I saw on the news, 300 tanks.
I got to skip this.
Telling other people so there's all these different rumors.
Do they really have a guest on the line waiting?
A lot of the other nations in that area. I think
The financial gentleman, the financial guy.
the finance
Yep,
guy.
he was here 3. Yep.
Yeah, so we may need to rename the show. But anyway, just to cover the stuff that we try to cover towards the beginning of.
No, don't rename the show. The Scott Johnson Show is such a good title. The guest is starting to fall asleep. Watch him bring up the border. Bueller. Scott has missed his calling in life. He should be on CNN or BBC. No, he should be on, what's the shit, C-SPAN, where you can just call in. Let me bite my hand. So funny. He believes in the rapture.
This show every week. You're right. The Amway tool scam is really what got me active in this area, because I found out after being an Amway for a dozen years.
OBAMNA.
Thank you. Obama. Thank you. By the way, I think I missed the donation too, so let me play this and shout that out. Thank you guys for the support on this. We're filling up that goal. I love to see it. TK Subi, Obama, thank you guys. Really appreciate that. I think there might have been a super chat as well that I might have missed. No, Sabrina was the last one. Okay, got you. I want Scott Johnson to go on like Bill O'Reilly. You remember Bill O'Reilly? I want Bill O'Reilly to call me a pinhead. That's what I want.
My upline was making a whole lot more money from the tools than they were from Amway. And that's quite common throughout Amway, as you found out 3 times. You're either 3-0 or 0 for 3. I don't know how you want to count it, but it was consistent. That's one thing you can say about Amway. It's consistent. They always say, be duplicatable.
Scott's the type of person, and he's done this before. If you watch the debate he did with Savvy Writes Books, MLM Akbar, oh my God. I can't imagine a less credible voice on the issue of the Middle East. So funny. Yeah, I was gonna say Scott Johnson on the debate he did with Savvy Writes Books talked about how women being you-know-whatted was comparable to his experience in Amway. Mans really is the type of guy to say that that what's going on in Israel-Palestine is a lot like what happened to him when he was in Amway. Absolutely, he's that like what's the word, like unable to read the room.
And so they were duplicating their tool scam. Now there are a very small percentage of what they call independents that don't have a tool scam. I knew one of those guys years ago, but they're a very small percentage, probably less than 5%. And I don't know where it's gone over the.
Is Glenn on this episode? It says in the description here, Glenn returns. Where's Glenn? Give me Glenn.
The years.
Let me skip ahead.
Up or down. Cause I never say Amway Tools. I say Amway Tool Scam.
Jesus Christ.
It's just weird.
Okay. Yeah. I think
here's Glenn.
Look at the data or the facts, but that or statistics or any.
When you're told a lie and you believe it, now that does occur. That occurred with me and millions of others. But as far as brainwashing as a technical term, it does not exist.
Yeah, I disagree with that. My dad is, if he has been 100% brainwashed to the point where.
So funny. In my interview with cult expert Steve Hassan, which I don't know if Scott and Peter have talked about because I've been so tuned out, but Steve Hassan talks about how this cult brainwashing is a dissociative disorder that is in the DSM-5, and I even ask him if there is a specific shorthand for it, and he gives the full explanation, the full answer to this question in our interview. So, insane.
He will not even look at evidence that goes...
Oh, and this came out today. Maybe yesterday.
...goes against the way his brain has been washed. He won't look at data or statistics or any evidence that goes against.
Make a drop of the, it's just weird. Yeah, somebody clip me that timestamp.
The brainwash has told him to not listen to anything negative. So if I go to him with some data or some facts, Glenn's negative, he's a loser, don't listen to it. That's how strong the brainwashing is. A normal person that just believes a lie does not have that level of mind control or brainwashing, and would look at the data, would look at the facts, but he won't even look at the data or the facts. So that's how.
And I agree. Yeah, I would agree that there's outliers. There's people that, do totally buy into it, and I guess you could use the term brainwashing, but as a generic term, it really doesn't have any meaning as far as the professionals, right? The psychiatrists and psychologists, they say, no, brainwashing is not a real thing. But there are people like your father, I think it's fair to use that word, but just caution people that that's a very unusual case.
There's lots and lots of professionals who think that brainwashing is a real thing. Lots and lots of highly educated people who 100% believe in brainwashing.
Well, I suggest you do an online search for that, because I found differently. And I'm willing to debate your sources that you find online, but what I found online is, again, there's always people that disagree, but the vast majority.
Thank you, Sabrina. Wanted to make sure it goes to the donor goal. Thank you, Sabrina. Thank you.
Majority of these professionals say, nope, brainwashing really is not a thing.
You could find a highly educated professional to make any point. So,
yeah, I'm just talking about the vast majority. That's what I'm talking about. You can always find exceptions.
The vast majority of people in this space think that brainwashing is a thing. I mean, how else do you explain that? How Jim Jones got hundreds of people to voluntarily commit suicide?
There you go.
That wasn't them just believing a lie. That was them being very, very, very cleverly brainwashed. And the tactics and the tactics that Jim Jones used are very, very similar to the tactics that have been used on my father. So,
well, again, there's always exceptions, and that is, I think, an exception. Now, whether you want to call that brainwashing or believing a lie, I think that can be argued on both sides. But again, if you have a source that says brainwashing is a real thing and the majority of professionals agree that it's a real thing, I'm willing to debate it, because I have found otherwise.
Tell you what, I'd love to see Steve Hassan come on here and debate you, Scott. I think that'd be fantastic.
Oh, I would love to twist him around.
Yeah?
Pause.
Hey, Scott, but this is where I think you don't do yourself any favors. Last week we had one of the best anti-MLMers, or the week before, come onto your show. You guys had a fantastic discussion, and then you called her a nut job, which I think is the reason why she's not here today. Which I'm very sad about, because I think
it was Julie Anderson. Julie Anderson went on Building Fortunes Radio. I haven't listened to it, but I think this is what he's talking about.
We're really looking forward to me, you, Peter, and Julie Anderson having another great discussion.
Well, I called her a nut job before she came on the show, and she knew it. So that's not something that
I'm killing this
came
bingo
up during the show.
Well, it didn't come up, but I think anyone who listened to that discussion would have been surprised at the end of it for you to call her a nut job. Because, I mean, she's not a nut job. She may have a few different opinions to you, but she's not a nut job. I mean, someone who's a nut job is someone, a nut job, someone who's mentally unstable, who, can't work, can't participate in the world, that's not her. She's a person who high functioning, speaks a lot of sense, speaks calmly and rationally. I mean, sure, I get you disagree with some of the things she says, but she's not a nut job.
I love how that's always Scott's defense. Well, I've been calling her a nut job since before that. He never, bro. It's just like when he debated Savvy, and Savvy's like, why did you call all these women's cunts and bitches on Twitter? All these why did you call all these women cunts and bitches on Twitter when they didn't do anything to you? And he's like, well, they were mean to me first. Like, he never actually has a good thing to say. He always has some justification. He'll never apologize. Oh, well, actually, I was calling her a nut job beforehand. It's like, okay, well, regardless of when you called her a nut job, why would you call her a nut job?
I would not agree that she's calm and rational. If you watch some of her videos, I mean, her eyeballs roll around and her hands are thrown up in the air, and she laughs sort of at random times. It's just weird.
You're such a pussy, Scott, for having people on your show and then talking all this shit off like after the fact. I guarantee you, I haven't listened to the episode, but I guarantee you he didn't say none of this to Julie Anderson directly over the whatever phone or call while they were doing the show. For sure not.
Okay, yeah, I think she's passionate about it.
Gaslighting rules. 1, it didn't happen. 2, if it did, it's the person's fault. There you go.
Because she understands the damage that these companies are doing to people. Some people can talk about it calmly. Other people get a little bit emotional. It's
actually, somebody in the chat asked, how does Glenn not burst out laughing? How does Glenn stay so calm is my question. How does he, especially after, well, to be fair, Glenn's been dealing with his dad in Amway for like 20 fucking years, so I'm sure he's already pulled all of his hair out, but it's crazy, man.
Emotional. I don't think that makes them a nut job to be upset that you've got, literally, MLM has had a major negative impact on millions of people's lives.
Yeah, Angela says, Scott Johnson will say, we all need to work together. Then he'll go on a Marco tirade and a Julie Anderson tirade.
Lives, millions of people have been brainwashed by this evil cult.
We will react to the Julie episode. That's crazy. Someone's phone's ringing.
Surprising that she gets a little bit emotional about it.
Peter's vibrator is, he forgot to mute his line, his end of the line, and his vibrator's going crazy while Scott and Peter are talking.
Yeah, and that's her choice, but I would say that not only does she show a lot of emotion, she doesn't say much that's very meaningful.
I thought it was a very, very meaningful discussion that you and her had last week.
I mean, on her videos, she doesn't say a lot that's very meaningful.
Did you see the one where me and her were on for about 4 hours? I thought that was a very... She didn't do anything in that 4 hours that I thought would make you think she's a nut job. Did you see that one?
Well, yeah, and what struck me about that 4-hour show you did with her is that there were several topics that were brought up that instead of trying to find a solution, all you guys did was complain back and forth and say, look how bad that is, and how bad this is, and how bad this is. But you never thought about, it never came up during that show, and go back and listen to the show again.
Yeah.
There were several topics that if you guys had said, you know what, if there were retail sales.
Lou Vega. Let me read this out. It's going to disappear before I can read all of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody in the car. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody in the car. So come on, let's ride to the liquor store around the corner. The boy said he wants some gin and juice, but I really don't wanna. That's the most Marco thing that could happen on my stream is me listening to Losing Fortunes Radio and someone drops a bag and it's just the lyrics to Mambo No. 5 with no other Lou Vega is the name of the singer. I forgot. I didn't even put that together. Lou Vega. Dude, that's so funny. That's so funny that just randomly the donation is just the lyrics to Mambo No. 5. I love that. Thank you, Lou Vega. Only 71% of people voted hire and fire yourself 3 times. Crazy. Julie is a queen. Absolutely. Julie is awesome. Glenn is awesome too. Bad Dog is awesome too. Michelle S is awesome too. Thank you, Michelle S, for the $20 super chat. First time super chat from Michelle. Scott outing himself on watching 4 hours of anti-MLM content. Oh, mama, it ain't just 4 hours of anti-MLM content. It's 4 hours of Glenn and Julie's episode. That ain't including all the Always Marco he's watching. Sometimes I want to go back to streaming 3 nights a week because I know Scott was watching all of them, and just the amount of time that was eating up makes me so giddy inside.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Michelle.
This wouldn't be a problem.
Okay, well, I disagree.
Well, listen to it again.
I said during that 4 hours that the solution is for all of us to contact the politicians and say, we know you're taking money from the Amway Corporation. If you continue to do so, we are not going to support you anymore. We need to write to the mainstream media and let them know that there's a lot of people who really, really, really dislike the multi-level marketing industry and who have been hurt by it. Show them the data. 99.7% of people lose money. I mean, the fact that you've got major soccer teams that have Herbalife on their shirts, I can guarantee you, if 1% of Marco's massive audience was to message these soccer teams and say, hey, you've got Herbalife on your jersey. This is a company that has a 99-point-something loss rate. I guarantee you they wouldn't take that sponsorship. But I think the problem is that there's a lot of us, but we aren't complaining to the right people. The fact that
there's not enough people complaining. Most people are just there to be entertained by whoever is doing the show, and they really have no interest in actually doing anything. It's very similar to when you get people in MLM. You know, they get scared, they get frustrated, and they quit. And that's people, whether it's MLM or complaining about MLMs. Most people just sit there and watch and want to be entertained, and they don't want to actually do anything.
But Scott, the reason why people are quitting is because they're involved in a business where over 99% of people lose money. It is not a wise thing to do to continue in any sort of business that has a 99% plus loss ratio. You are better off statistically to go to a casino. It is statistically far better to go to a casino. The people that quit aren't quitting because they're lazy or because they're unmotivated or because they've got stinking thinking. They're making a very rational decision. Leaving a business with a 99-point-something% loss rate is a very sensible, rational thing to do. And I've got no doubt if the vast, overwhelming majority of people who join these MLMs are joining unaware of the fact there's a 99% plus loss ratio. That's the big thing. If the MLMs had to have full disclosure, they would die instantly. And that's why they're fought very, very hard to not have full disclosure. If they had the same disclosure that, say, a McDonald's had to have, the game would be over very quickly. And they know that, and they're fought against having any disclosure. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, but I also would say that you changed the subject. I was talking about not too many people complain, and then you said there's a big loss rate. So, you know, when you change the subject like that, then we don't really have a conversation. We have you talking your idea and me talking my idea, and we're not really exchanging thoughts.
I think people are, their complaints are sort of a bit misguided maybe. I feel like complaining to the FTC is a waste of time because this is a political fix. The people who work at the FTC know that they know there's a 99% loss rate. They know that Amway and Herbalife and Prime America should be shut down, but they also know that the FTC is funded by the US government, and the US government is getting huge donations from every single MLM company. They also know that if you're high up at the FTC, if you don't close these companies down, when you leave the FTC, you'll be given a job with a huge wage at companies like Herbalife, Amway, and Prime America. the lady I saw recently who famously made that speech where she said, we didn't say that Herbalife was not a pyramid scheme. She's now working for one of these companies. So this is...
Yeah, Glenn is talking about that very famous clip from Edith Ramirez, the former chairwoman of the FTC, who is now a staff lawyer at a firm that defends MLMs. I forget which MLM. Glenn knows. Dave Vaughn knows. I forget the specific MLM. It might be Herbalife. But yeah, she said in the clip that was shown in the John Oliver MLM video, which has like 36 million views, she said they were not determined not to be a pyramid. Clown world.
A fix.
There's no way I'm listening to this whole thing, right? Like, I gotta end this, bro. I gotta end this at some point. But I will do, I'm very tempted to do another stream this week, like before Saturday, where I do a call-in show. I wonder what day would be good to do that. Join the Discord and let me know what day you think we should do a call-in show. I just put the link to the Discord in the chat. But yeah, I've been already going almost 3 hours. Do I keep going and listen to this argument between Glenn and Scott? Or do I end it? I could be convinced. 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 Scott is ashamed and embarrassed deep down. Deep down. So funny. Scott looks like if Chef Boyardee had an illegitimate child who had a midlife crisis and began collecting hubcaps on side roads. So true. Keep going. Okay, I'll keep going. You sent that's true. Trey Tino paid the goon tax. So did Sabrina.
This is an inside job. Complaining to the FTC is a waste of time.
LOL, Mars.
I think the letters that are going to the FTC would be much better directed at the politicians who are taking these bribes. And that's what these are. These aren't donations, they're bribes. The MLM industry...
Why not do both?
We'll do both, but if you've only got time to write one letter, write it to your member of parliament, send it to... Actually, this is what I advise people to do. Write one letter and then send it to every single politician in America or Australia or wherever you live. You've got to write the letter once and then you just got to stick in all the emails and send them to all of them.
I'm playing Everspace 2 and watching you. Keep the streams going. Thank you. Your GF says hi. Appreciate you.
I also urge people to write to people in the mainstream media. Are you aware of the what's her name? Leah Remini? She was in Scientology.
Yes.
She did a great big expose on Scientology. She then received, I think it must have been an orchestrated campaign by survivors of Jehovah's Witness. And they all wrote to her and said pretty much the same thing. Scientology is very, very similar to Jehovah's Witness, the practices. She then did a documentary series on the Jehovah's Witness program. So I think if we could get 1 or 2% of someone like Marco's audience to write to Leah, Remy...
He knows he's pissing off Scott by mentioning Marco.
And say Amway is identical. A lot of the practices are very, very similar to Jehovah's Witness and Scientology. If she was to do an expose on it, that would do far, far, far more damage than anything that's been tried so far. So that's what I urge people to do. Write to Leah Remy. Send an email, not just to your local politician, but to every single politician in your country. And they need to know that the public are becoming aware of this scam, this rort of MLM companies giving huge donations to all sides of politics, and then the politicians pretending Amway is not a problem, even though they know damn well it is, and people at the FTC too scared to do their job properly. I've got no doubt there's people at the FTC that agree with me, but they know that would be a very, very, very bad career move.
Well, do you think the FTC lost the Neora lawsuit intentionally?
I don't know a lot about it, but I would like to know how much money that company has given to the politicians. Make no mistake.
I like how Scott, who accuses Glenn of changing the subject, immediately changed the subject from talking about Marco's audience.
The FTC, do you really think that the FTC are not aware that Amway is a scam?
I believe they are aware, and what they told me a few years ago, because I tried to direct them towards my website, because it has a lot of good information on it. They told me that
He literally did say a few years ago.
Need a minimum number of people complaining, and then they will start an investigation, and that's their process. So
that's nonsense, though, because they've closed down smaller MLMs.
That's their process. So when you have people like Julie, Anderson saying that the FTC is a waste of time, or other people saying the same thing, then you're just shooting yourself in the foot, because the FTC has told me personally that's how we operate.
That's nonsense, though. I'm not doubting that they've told you that. But what was the name of that energy drink MLM they shut down?
Vima.
I guarantee you that there was less complaints about that energy drink MLM that the FTC successfully shut down that was not similar to Amway but identical. It was a copycat version of Amway. They shut them down.
That was Vima, and the reason it was so similar to Amway is because the guy that owns that company, BK Barenko, is a former Amway direct distributor, and his parents were, I think, either double diamonds or EDCs. They were very, very high in the structure in Amway. So
thank you, W. Houston. I believe the children... What the hell is this, bro? What is this? Is this another Whitney Houston? Yeah, okay, it's Whitney Houston. I believe children of the future, teach them. All right. Thank you, Whitney Houston.
So yes, it was very similar to Amway, and I think what happened was there was a lot of students, particularly in Arizona State University, which is where Vima was headquartered in a nearby suburb, and I think what happened was a lot of the students believed what they were being told. You ought to take some of your money that your parents are giving you, or your scholarship, or wherever you're getting your money to pay for college, and put it towards Vima, because you're just going to squander your money, and you're going to have a job the rest of your life. It's not going to pay you. You'll get laid off all the time. And if you join Vima, you'll get filthy rich. And young college students, believe that. And so I think a lot of the parents, when they found out about this, a lot of them were probably influential, right? They had some money, and they had some political connections. And so I don't know what the number of complaints was, but I do agree that the people complaining probably had more political connections than your average MLMer. And I think, I don't know this, but I think that's why Vima got the attention, and most other MLMs don't, whether it's Amway or any other MLM.
Hang on, but do we agree that over the last 50 years there's been more complaints made to the FTC about the Amway Corporation than Vima?
I have no idea.
But if you had to guess, my guess would be there's been far more complaints made to the FTC about the Amway Corporation than Vima. So the idea that
I don't think so, because
investigating Amway because there's not enough people complaining is ridiculous.
Most people who drop out of Amway are not even aware they were scammed. They're being told if you fail, it's your fault. And they believe that. People believe that if they fail, it's their fault. They believe their upline when their upline tells them that. So why would you complain to the FTC if you thought it was your fault that you failed?
But there's also a lot of people who know that Amway is a scam and have made complaints to the FTC, and that has not worked. The FTC, I mean, I think you'd have to be naive to think that there's not people high at the FTC who know that if I was to do my job properly and close down Amway, that's going to have a negative impact on the FTC as a whole getting funding and my chances of getting a job advising or working for an MLM company when I leave the FTC. Make no mistake, people who work at the FTC are very, very aware of the fact that for their own narrow personal benefit, leave Amway alone, leave Herbalife alone, close down the odd little MLM company here and there so we have the perception, public perception that, the FTC want to close down MLMs.
That's exactly right, Glenn. And that's why with my last deep investigation that I did, which I shan't talk about for legal reasons, I went after a very big one, because the big ones are the ones that actually are able to afford to throw their weight around in Congress and actually buy off politicians. The smaller ones that are making, millions or tens of millions, those are the ones that the FTC is able to hold up to the world and say, look, we did something. When was the last time you saw, I guess the last time you saw a big MLM company get this kind of scrutiny and have the only time in history really that you've seen the FTC's arm twisted to the point where they had to do something was when Bill Ackman spent $50 million on a campaign to expose Herbalife for being an illegal pyramid scheme. And there's a whole documentary about this called Betting on Zero. And I might have to do another viewing party, a watch party in Discord for Betting on Zero in the near future here, because it's such an important movie. And some of my friends are in the movie. Robert Fitzpatrick, Bill Keep, Doug Brooks, they're all in the movie, especially Doug Brooks. And when Herbalife was investigated, what was the result? The FTC said they were not determined not to have been a pyramid. So what you gotta recognize is that Glenn is 100% right. Even when the FTC is so, even when their inaction is magnified to the tune of $50 million and a huge media campaign and this big, investing in shorting and short squeeze, blitz between Carl Icahn and Bill Ackman, and it's like a huge thing, MSNBC, everybody's talking about it, and people are actually listening to Bill Ackman's presentation, which you can search on YouTube, Bill Ackman Herbalife presentation, and you see the research they did. They basically did an Always Marco hidden camera investigation, but not the way I would do it for free, where it's just me, pounding the pavement and getting it done. A $50 million beautiful, polished campaign to expose that the company was an illegal pyramid scheme, and a very well publicized media campaign to publish these findings. And what did it result in? That floundering and anticlimactic failure of the FTC to do anything. They were not determined not to have been a pyramid. I actually should make that a soundbite. They were not determined not to have been a pyramid. I should make that a soundbite. After every video we watch where people are clearly engaging in pyramid selling, as they call it here in Canada, I can play that sound effect. They were not determined not to have been a pyramid. Insane. Maybe what you guys are saying. I have never covered Cutco vector marketing, but it would be all too easy for me to do it with a hidden camera investigation. They have them at my local Costco every day. Waiting for the day Scott starts screaming out of frustration. So funny. Do not join Worldwide Dream Builders, Clay 45 Matt. Do not. I forbid you from doing so.
We need to get politicians talking about MLMs. There's only ever been one Australian politician who has talked about the multi-level marketing industry in Parliament. One in the history of Australian politics. That's bizarre. And I'm not aware of any USA politicians who have ever spoken about it.
I'm not aware of anyone either. Peter, can you think of a politician that's spoken out against MLM scams?
No, for some reason, politicians have a tendency of leaving these MLM companies alone, including, Donald Trump, who was obviously somebody who owned his own MLM, and he spoke for many of them and even had MLM on The Apprentice television show that he had. There is one thing that I just want to kind of clarify. So Glenn made a point that it's common for people to go between government agencies and then the private or public corporations, and kind of like in a circular fashion. And they're on the FTC, and then Herbalife needs somebody who knows the FTC, so they hire them, and that happens not only in MLM, but it happens all the time, and it's one of the biggest problems in our political system. There should really be an ordinance, if you will, or a policy where if you're working with a government agency, you basically have like a 5-year window where you cannot do something like that. But that would probably not be very popular because many of the people in our fine U.S. government are as crooked can get. Having said that, though, Edith Ramirez was an acting FTC chairperson. She did whatever she did with Herbalife, and she's very well known for having said that statement. We never said you weren't not a pyramid, whatever that meant. But she let them off the hook with a $200 million fine. But what she did not do is Edith Ramirez, when she left, she did not go to an MLM company. She went to a law firm, and she focuses on privacy, cybersecurity, and a whole bunch of other things. So she was not one of the people that went through that circular government, private company or public company, thing where basically everybody's washing each other's hands. That's not the case in many things, but Edith Ramirez was not one of those people. What she did not do was, I think, what she should have done, which is given them a heavier fine. We're talking about Herbalife. And what she didn't do is she didn't really sit up on top of them to make sure that they did the things that they were supposed to do. And maybe that's partly political because Herbalife, and Scott and I discussed a lot of this when it was going on, but to rehash it, Herbalife is very smart when it comes to understanding the political environment. So they hired all the politicians, including our Vice President, Kamala Harris, her husband's law firm. They hire lots of MLM.
Dude, they're literally getting this info from watching my channel. I've literally talked about the Doug Emhoff, Kamala Harris thing in 2 separate videos now.
MLM attorneys. This way, the federal government can't go hire an MLM attorney who's hired already by Herbalife. So they put a lot of MLM attorneys on retainer. So it's kind of like a lot of MLM attorneys are lucky that they're MLM attorneys.
Really sit on top of them, LOL.
They get paid off. Just
This shouldn't be such an afterthought, the return to BFR. This should be its own stream. I want to make a thumbnail with Scott and Peter again and really pique their interest. So let me stop this right here. And on the next stream, we should react to the Julie Anderson BFR episode or the rest of this Glenn Returns episode with Scott and Peter. I really think that's fair. I know we've listened to a lot of it already, but I'm not trying to go past 3 hours, okay? I know it's arbitrary, but still, with the replay, people the higher the length of time gets, the less likely people are to watch the replay. That's just what I've noticed. Appreciate you guys for the support. We did really good tonight with the bags. We did really good tonight with the thumbs ups. Over how many likes? 299, almost 300. Decent thumbs ups, decent bags, decent viewership. We love to see it. And I'm gonna because I'm so happy about this, I'm gonna do another stream sometime this week. In Discord, we'll talk about what day is the best day to do it, and we'll do a call-in show, and maybe set up a time to do another watch party, all of us together, do a little movie night or movie afternoon type thing, and watch Betting on Zero. I think that'd be good. And if you want to join the Discord, obviously it's free to join, and it's fun, and it's all the people you see and love here in the YouTube chat, but over on Discord. And you can, 24/7 party don't stop, because it doesn't require us being live on the channel. And we'll figure all this out over there. So thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. And if you've made it to this far in the stream or into the replay of the stream, just know those bags can drop at any time, not just when I'm live. I'll get the email saying somebody hit the Streamlabs on a random Sunday afternoon. I'll get the email. So appreciate you guys. Mars and Jelly Snack both say Julie's episode. Yes, we got to do that. It'll be good. Okay. Appreciate you guys. Love y'all. Do not do drugs. Do not join MLM. Appreciate y'all. Peace out.
Marco.
Yes. Peace out.
bomb now.